hello, what's up this afternoon, everyone? Welcome. Fine Tuesday to ya all. Good to see ya. What is up, Comrade Venice? Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you for your subscription. Big skip cheer for you. Thank you. Tazinger, Zelda Zagbot, Tuka Buddy, Cat Cam Fan. How are you, Cat Cam Fan? Good to see ya. W Van House, Golden Dragon, Randomy, Swing for Zero. How is everyone doing today? I am super excited. Hey, good to have you back, Blood Moon Go. Welcome. And G for you, Cole. Good to see ya. We got a spicy one today. We're going to Modern, because Modern, so the big news, of course, two pieces of big news. We got the bannings yesterday. Wizards finally fixed Modern-ish, started fixing Modern. Let's go with starting fixing Modern. They banned Nadu and Grief. I was really hoping, so if I was controlling the ban list, I would have banned Nadu for sure. Would have banned Grief for sure. I also would have banned the One Ring. I'm willing to give it longer. I think it actually seems possible to me that, I don't know why they really do not want to ban the One Ring so badly. It seems like they really don't want to ban the One Ring. I would have also banned the One Ring, but I think this is a very good start for fixing Modern. Ilsika, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. And Roaring Spencer, big super cheer for you. Thank you. Made a teamer version of the deck. Well, let me see. So that's the big news of Modern. We have a new Modern format, and we're going to check it out today with this super spicy turn my land into an Omniscience combo deck, which I believe originally is from Aspiring Spike. I'm pretty sure the first person that put this deck together. I know Spike's been talking about shifting Woodlands Omniscience forever, so we're going to see if we can turn this harmless little shifting Woodlands into an Omniscience, combo off, and win the game. That's the deck we're starting with today, but we got other big news. There is big news today. So many subs. Welcome, everybody. Psycho Smurf, Vanerick, Jonathan Snow, also Christoph. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. And Dylan Hunter, welcome you as well. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Hey, Seth, I've been playing Orzhov Pixie in Standard. I think you will like the list. Let me pull it up. Got Standard Championship on Friday, bringing old reliable shard of my 2011 Lilianas, board dedicated to Convoke and Lizards for Pillage the Bog. Ooh, let me see. So many deck lists. So we got some Jund Pillage the Bog. Ooh, that deck looks super sweet. Eager in Standard, eh? That deck looks super fun. I feel like Bristlebud Farmer is kind of a sleeper. I feel like this card's gotta actually be good. Yeah, that list looks super fun. Then we got, oh wait, that's the Twitch. Oh no, go back Twitch, go back. You can do it. Go back. Oh no. Okay, I kind of messed that up. Why is Twitch over here? You're supposed to be over there. All right, new plan. We're just gonna open Twitch up again real quick. Hello, everyone. Professional streamer here. He said, I'm glad they banned the cards. They did, but I felt like they need to restrict more cards in Timeless and pay more attention to Pioneer as well as the One Ring, the elephants in the format. We'll talk more about the ban list. We will. We got so many subs in a row. We also got, let's see, Teamer Omniscience. Ooh, some Fae of Wishes action. Fae of Wishes is super fun. That looks super spicy. Wow, Fast and Furious, Flotsam and Jetsam. That is a spicy take. Why are we playing the expensive stuff? Are we? Interesting. That is definitely a super spicy take on Omniscience. And then Hollow One, we might have to Hollow One at some point. Orzhov Pixie, so many deck lists. Yeah, I feel like Orzhov Pixie, I've played against this deck a few times, and it seems like it can be pretty good. Its good draws are really good, and it also makes Rottenmouth Viper actually kind of a good card. So lots of sweet deck lists. So the news on the bannings. We talked about Modern. We're going to play this sweet Omniscience deck. There is more news, though. There's more than just the Modern bannings. They also managed to ban Amalian Sorin in Pioneer, which I think are really good changes. I know we've been wanting changes in Pioneer for a long time. So I know you don't talk about it yesterday, but they restricted Urza Saga and Vexing Bobble in Vintage because of Luris. Yeah, that makes... is it worth it? I mean, I guess it's worth it, but like... Luris. Do we really want Luris to exist? It's funny to have to ban cards because of the mistakes of the cards, but I guess the gimmick of Vintage is you want everything to be legal and there's like not a ban list. So I love your eggs video yesterday. Would love more video essay style history lessons, stuff like that with your narration and commentary, very educating. Well, thank you, Cat Cam Fan. I love making videos like that. So as long as people like them and watch them, I will make more because those are some of my favorite videos to make. I love the history of Magic. I love the weird stories of Magic. So expect more of them in the future as long as people want them. So Pioneer, I think the changes in Pioneer were good. No changes in Standard makes sense. Pioneer also could have been like Treasure Cruise because is it Phoenix is a concern. We talked about Modern. I would have also been the One Ring. Maybe some energy stuff, because energy might end up being too good. It gets better, though. It gets better, I promise. It keeps getting better. Hey, welcome, Mulligan to 8. McIntyre, Canuckbender, so many subs today. Welcome, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It gets better. So they do mention the One Ring in here a little bit when we get down to the bottom. But we got to get to the Nadu thing. The Nadu thing's so good. And then we also have the Dustmorn teaser that we got to look at. Where's the One Ring? We certainly considered a few other cards to take action against in this announcement, namely the One Ring. Well, present in several decks, there's no clear One Ring deck terrorizing Modern. Being a unique combination of self-protection and card advantage, it's a strong card that helps prop up several varied strategies. Ultimately, we decided not to act against the One Ring. Possible problems it may be causing in Modern. Just turn as clear as not doing grief, which, I mean, is true. Like, they're not wrong. However, like, I don't know. Wouldn't that mean, let's say One Ring ends up in 100% of decks. That's not going to happen. But let's say right now it's almost 50% of decks. Let's say we end up with One Ring. Literally every Modern deck that's competitive is playing the One Ring. That would still mean that there's no clear One Ring deck terrorizing Modern, but I think everyone would agree that's a problem, right? If just like every deck starts with the 4 One Rings and then you build the rest of your deck, there wouldn't be any one specific One Ring deck that's like, you know, doing one, you know, broken thing, but that would still be an issue. So I don't know if I agree with the logic here. Like, they're not wrong. It is true that the One Ring goes in multiple archetypes, and there's not like one Nadu-like One Ring deck that's the best deck in the format, but I don't know if that actually matters. I don't know if I buy that as like a convincing reason to not ban a card. The funniest thing though, oh my goodness, so Wizards, they don't normally do this, but they wrote an entire article about why they banned Nadu Winged Wisdom. I feel really bad for Michael Majors, because I don't even think reading the article that he actually made Nadu. He was just the lead design for the set, and he kind of got sent out to take the heat from everyone for Nadu. So I feel very bad for Michael Majors just getting like the worst end of this deal, and having to be the one that like he had to play the Blake role. He was the Blake of the day, where he's the one that's got to go out in front of the Magic community and like try to explain all this stuff, even though I don't think it's like really seriously mostly his fault. Like, sure, he was the head of design, so I guess technically, you know, the crap rolls uphill type thing. Like, eventually, if you're at the head, you're gonna have to take responsibility for it. But I don't think he actually like designed Nadu. So here's the story of Nadu. It's so good. So here's how they started with Nadu. Nadu, the original card was something like this: 3 mana Simic, 3/4 legendary bird wizard with flying. Whenever you may cast permanent spells as though they had flash. Whenever a permanent you control is the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, do the Risen Reef thing. If the revealed top card land goes into play, otherwise put it in your hand. This was a card that, what do you think of this card? What do you think of this version of Nadu? Like, is this version of Nadu actually a problem? Wizards ended up feeling like this was a problem. They thought that this card would be bad for Commander. It mentions it down here. In one of these meetings, there was a great deal of concern raised about Nadu's flash-granting ability for Commander play. After removing the ability, the card, whatever, didn't have an audience. We need to make it better. Need to make it do something. I do see what they're going for. Like, I don't know. What do you think of Commander games where Flash is involved? Like, have you ever played a Commander game where there's a Vidalcan Orrery or a Leyline of Anticipation on the battlefield? It is a little weird. I could see why maybe you wouldn't want a Commander that did that, just because if you have a Leyline or a Vidalcan Orrery, no one really wants to interact with you because they're afraid you just leave your mana up, and they're afraid, like, oh, if I attack you, you're going to flash something in. If I target your stuff, I'm going to flash something in. So I could see why they would want to avoid the flash thing. So that's why they changed Nadu. They thought that Nadu in this form would be miserable, I guess, in Commander, but they wanted it to be an exciting Commander. My intention was to create a build around aim for Commander play, which resulted in the final text. The problem is, they missed the interaction with 0 mana abilities that are so problematic. So a lot of people have jumped on the fact that they designed Nadu for Commander is being a bad thing. And while I will say that I don't think every card needs to be designed for Commander, to me, designing Nadu for Commander, that doesn't especially offend me. Like, Commander is very popular. It's a really big format. It's the most popular way to play Magic. So them designing Nadu for Commander, that isn't the part that gets me. What gets me about this is you were designing a card specifically for Commander, specifically to be a Commander. That was the goal of this card, was to be a Commander. And somehow you did not go to EDHREC and just like click on it and be like, wow, you know what sees a lot of playing Commander? This Lightning Greaves card, this 0 mana equipment. I would assume if you're designing a Commander, like the first thing that you would do would be to look at cards that are really popular and heavy played in Commander and be like, do these interact in a negative way with the card I'm designing? So it's a little concerning to me that they would try to design a Commander card and not think of Lightning Greaves. Like, not thinking of Shuku, whatever. I will give you a pass on that, because who thinks of Shuku? Like, unless you're a legacy Cephalid Breakfast player, you haven't thought about Shuko in a decade. But Lightning Greaves, that's a card that many people have thought of and many people play. So it's a little weird that they somehow missed that. The other point of this that I wanted to point out is the lessons that they learned. And this is a lesson that keeps coming up all the time. So they have contractors that go in and help design the cards, right? They help design the cards, but then they change them after the contractors see the cards. And they mention this here at the end of the article, that I have faith that if the current Nadu had been scrutinized by our contractors while playtesting, things would have turned out better. This was the same thing that happened with the One Ring and with Orcish Bowmasters, where they brought in playtesters. Canister was one of them, I know, and someone else too, whose name I can't remember right now. But they brought in these playtesters. When they were playtesting the One Ring, it was a 5-mana equipment or something that was complete jank. And then they were like, okay, whatever, like, this card's, it's fine, it's not gonna do anything. And then they released the One Ring, and it's like the most busted thing ever. So I think that there's a workflow issue here too. Like, No, I don't think they're blaming contractors. I think they're blaming their workflow, that the way that they set up the design of the card in the set is they bring in these format experts to help like sign off on the cards, design the cards, but they didn't actually see the end version of the cards. They didn't get to see, they saw this version and were like, okay, sure, whatever, that card's fine because it is fine, but they didn't get to see the very busted version. And if they had, they probably would be like, you shouldn't print this, like that's going to be a problem. So I think there's a workflow issue that can be fixed there as well. So read the article. It's actually very interesting to see. I'm glad they did it. I know we're kind of like memeing on parts of it, but I appreciate Wizards taking the time to actually write an article and explain exactly what is going on, what went wrong. Hey Seth, I just finished your viewer match stream. You asked what there is to do in Kentucky. I've lived in South Kentucky all my life. Here are some things to do. Ooh, I'm going to have to check that out. Yeah, my little brother is in Kentucky this year, so I'm gonna have to go out there a couple times. Mammoth Cave. Ooh, we do good county fairs. Kentucky, yeah, Kentucky college basketball I gotta go out there. I gotta go out there in December for Louisville, Kentucky basketball because my little brother is playing for Louisville this year. The other big news, we're gonna play this deck because this deck looks really sweet, but lost in all the bannings. Hey Seth, what are you doing for the 500th podcast? That is a very good question, and I wish I had a very good answer, but I do not have a very good answer. It'll be a surprise. I'm not sure if episode 500 is gonna be something like super different or not. I'm not sure. It's a weird time because right now episode 500 is technically next Monday. Richard's in China, so that's already making things very awkward with just like scheduling podcasts and stuff. So Richard's away. It's also Labor Day, so other people got stuff going on. So I don't know what we're gonna do for episode 500. We will figure it out though. Worst case, maybe episode 501 is the episode 1000. We'll do a big thing for episode 1000. 500 more. We're almost there. Can you put me on the list for viewer battles next month? If you send me an email, Silty Snackers, saffronolive@mtggoldfish.com, I will get you on the list. What's Richard doing in China? Yeah, visiting family and so forth. Vacation. Have not been on the ring yet. So here's the other big news. We got Mark Rosewater's teaser for Dustmorn. Let's do our reminders real quick, and then we're gonna go over this teaser because I gotta see what you think. Because Dustmorn starts this weekend, this Saturday night. We get our first spoilers, and then we go right into spoiler season for Dustmorn, and I'm really excited for Dustmorn. So we're gonna go over this, and then we're gonna play Modern. I promise we'll play Modern. But first, a couple of quick reminders. Replay YouTube. That's we invite all those streams, including this one to the future normal YouTube. Yesterday, what do you think of the video about eggs? I really enjoyed making that. Should I make more videos like that? If you saw it, I just really like Magic history and like the documentary aspects. If it's stuff people like, I will do more. Are we doing a stream Saturday? Wizards will have, I believe, a spoiler stream. Wizards will have, I believe, a spoiler stream. We will not have a stream on Saturday, but I think Wizards, like their preview panel or something, is going to be streamed. Liked it, love to see more. Yeah, I'll have to make more of them. I just love the history. There's 30 years of history. I think that's one of the biggest strengths of Magic is there's 30 years of history when most other games don't have that. Yeah, I mean, Sam is, when it comes to Magic, like video essays, Sam is definitely the GOAT. No doubt, Heuristic Studies, like, it does not get better than Heuristic Studies, but it's kind of fun to do, like, the little, Story of Eggs in Modern, the F6, the infamous F6. I'll see if I can make more of them, because I enjoy making them. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, maybe from Dustmorn, maybe from Bloomborough, maybe to play Modern now that Modern is fixed, maybe, we'll see. You can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. So history of the best sideboard cards from each year would be cool. Ooh, that actually does sound interesting. Hey Seth, you can do a history of the stack in Magic because it wasn't always around. Ooh, going back to interrupts. That would be sweet. Can you make these videos together with Card Market? Their videos are sweet as well. Yeah, Card Market does great. We've done a couple of crossovers with Card Market, so there could be more of those. More of those in the future for sure. Hey, what's up, Little Olive? Hello. Tell Little Olive I said hello. So here's what we got. Mark Rosewater released his Dustmorn House of Horrors teaser. So as you know, he gives us these like little tidbits to get us hyped for the set. Maybe we can figure some of them out. So here's what we know about this set. Here are some things that we can expect in Dustmorn, spoilers starting Saturday. A component of the set with a frame using technology first designed for an unset. This, I have no idea what to think of this. Like, so I know unsets had like split cards, right? Like the host augment thing. They had a frame for cards with super long names is like a joke. They had like the big furry monster. I guess that's like the host augment big furry monster thing. I don't know what else that could be. A tweak of an ability that first appeared in the an ability word that first appeared in the third set of a block. I feel like there's a lot of those, too much so that we could really narrow it down. I feel like that would be difficult. Counters used in the set: +1/+1, -1, -1, finality, flying, lifelink, lore, loyalty, nest, possession, rev, which I think is already on Chainsaw, stun in time. The first ability word to reference second main phase. All right, whatever, new change. A 10/1 creature for you. What do you think? What do you think of that one? That one is actually kind of interesting. I've seen people speculating that it's going to have Defender. It's going to like, how can you make a 10/1 for 3 mana? Ooh, Miracle. Ooh, wait. Miracles. Miracles coming back does actually kind of make sense. A blue ball lightning, I think, here's my guess on this one. I think people are overthinking this with the ball lightnings and defenders and all that kind of stuff. My guess is it's actually the simple answer, and it's an impending card. Like how this Overlord of Hauntwoods is technically like a 3 mana 6/5 blah blah blah. I would not be surprised if it's like a blue mythic impending card, and you can play it for its impending cost, but it's not actually a creature until you wait so long, and then it becomes a creature. That is my prediction for that one, is it's actually just another impending card, but I guess we'll have to see. I could be wrong on that one. A variant on a mechanic that itself was a variant on another mechanic. So Kicker, right? Kicker and Super Kicker. Morph, Megamorph, Super Duper Megamorph. Honestly, it might be face down creatures. I am still on the conspiracy theory that one playtest card that references like enchantment creature cards being afraid. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. That's like enchantment creatures, face down creatures, and a couple of other things. I still think that's a plan for this set. I'm gonna guess it's another face down mechanic. I'm gonna guess it's a tweak on like disguise, which is also a tweak on morph originally or whatever. So that's my guess, is another face down mechanic. A modal 3 mana white mass removal spell. That is an exciting line of text. The question is, What do you think the modes on this could be? There's no way it can just be destroy all creatures, right? There's no way. That would be too good. It can't be destroy all creatures. It could be destroy less common things, like 3 mana, destroy all artifacts, destroy all enchantments, or destroy all, I don't know, battles or something silly. 88, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription for the 29th month. Big super chat for you. Thank you. Destroy all creatures, that is the way that they could do it, right? That is the way that they could do it. And I think that's a possibility. Oh, it could be an X-Spell, you're right. That would be very sneaky. It could be like, so we know what gets Retribution of the Meek style effects, right? Where it's like destroy all creatures, power 4 greater. So it could be like a destroy all little creatures, destroy all big creatures, or destroy all planeswalkers or something. Oh, destroy all enchantment creatures. That would work with the theme of this, although that's super narrow. A character returns is a legendary creature that first appeared in flavor text in alpha. So as far as I know, people way smarter than me about flavor text have narrowed this down to 2 cards that are likely. Does anyone know what these cards could be? The character returning, I believe, yes, I think, Jace W, you're on top of it. I believe that those are the 2 options, Asmore or Norin. I feel like Norin is perfect for this set. Like, assuming Norin's got the fear thing, Norin the Wary, I think it would work really well with the like haunted house horror theme of the set. So I feel like Norin is the most likely, although I guess it could be Asmore too. A new ability word that cares about a card type in a new keyword action. A new ability word that cares about a card type in a new keyword action. All right, whatever. Creature tokens. 1/1 white toy. 1/1 white glimmer. 2/1 white insect. 3/1 white spirit. 4/4 white beast. Blue token copy. XX blue spirit. 2/2 black horror. 6/6 black demon. 1/1 red gremlin. 1/1 red balloon. You only need 99 of them and you get to sing a song. Wasn't that an unset thing? Wasn't that already an unset thing? A 2/2 green spider, a 1/1 black and green insect, and fractals make their return. Balloon tokens in standard. I kill my opponent with toys and balloons in EDH. You can kill your opponent with toys and balloons in standard now. You don't even need to be in EDH. Here are some rules tags that are showing up on cards. Unlock a locked door. So we know there's something to do with this set that we don't understand yet that has to do with like rooms. There's some like room door mechanic. No idea how it actually works. This one's actually kind of relevant. Search your library for a demon. So this suggests that we're getting demon support. So if you are someone who has a demon deck, let's say in Commander already, this set might have some goodies for you. It might also mean it always means that we should be getting like the old demon stuff now, but like if you're a Be'lakor player, Rakdos player, or whatever, probably gonna get some sweet new toys in the set if demons is a focus. Where X is the number of creatures you control with power 2 or less. Okay, it could be card draw, could be tapping stuff, could be anything. Exile any number of target instant sorceries or Tameo Planeswalker cards from your graveyard. That's got to be on a Tameo, right? Like, there's no way you put Tameo Planeswalkers on there if it's not on a Planeswalker, I don't think. So I imagine, Demonic Tutor. Demonic Tutor in Standard would be wild. I feel like this has got to be some sort of planes. Or Nashi. You're right. It could be might be Nashi. The same is true of creature spells you control and creature cards you own that are on the battlefield. This could be a conspiracy effect, like all creatures are this type. It could be that's the most obvious one. I guess it could be other things. This line of text really intrigues me. I don't know what this card's going to be like, but the line of text is very good. You have no max hand size, and you don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. This has to be a pretty epic effect. It's got to be like, I don't even know, some mass card draw spell. It's got to be something wild to have those words on it. Rat tribal winner. It's coming. It's coming. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only a single creature you control, copy that spell. So it's kind of like an ivy almost. Shards you control become copies of it until the beginning of your next end step of creatures you control that don't have the same name as this creature. Of creatures you control that don't have the same name as this creature. In this, my God, I know Magic's a mathy game, but still. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31 are prime numbers. Mana Screw, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you. Are they actually going to make us know what prime numbers are? Are we going to actually have to math it out? Welcome to the Fishbowl, Mana Screw. Big screw cheer for you. Oh, yeah, we haven't seen, I mean, Nico could be coming back. Are shards tied specifically to Nico? I don't even know if it's tied specifically to Nico. I don't even know what could this effect be? Like, destroy a creature with mana value that's a prime number? Like, draw a prime number amount of cards? I don't even know what it's going to be. Yeah, that's going to be so cool. So it probably isn't. If shards are tied specifically to Nico, I know that Nico made shards, but I wasn't sure the lore of shards. If, like, Nico just happened to make them, but other things could make them. But maybe Nico... Oh, Nico's in the story. Well, okay, then Nico's probably back in making shards. Here are some creature type lines from the set. Human Doctor, Core Survivor, Goat, but is it a seductive goat? Shark, Eye, Fish Insect, Monkey Toy, Human, Clown, Berserker. So in standard, you will be able to build a toy balloon clown deck. I told you every set was an unset. Who doesn't want a clown berserker in standard? Legendary creature Elder Demon, Rat Ninja, legendary creature Rat Ninja Wizard. That's probably Nashi, I would assume. Every set's an unset now, and I think there's upsides to that. Dimitri the Elf for the 24th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big thank you. I mean, I like horror movies too, so I'm hyped for it. And finally, some names from the set. Acrobatic Cheerleader. All right, that's pretty horror movie-ish. So there's always the cheerleader to get murdered. Don't make a sound. That's where horror movie people always fail. I will say, my biggest gripe with horror movies is how incredibly dumb the people in them are. Like, the people in the horror movies, they always do the worst possible thing. I guess you just need them to do that to make the movie work. But it's like, come on, people. Come on, like, just leave. Just walk out. Like, just go. Like, stop crying. Like, why are you doing that? Like, you're doing the worst possible thing. Exorcist, very classic horror. Friendly Ghost, Casper. Maybe might need a Daniel Johnson, short for this one with the song. Jump Scare. Let's play a game. A little Saw reference. This is a big one. Meat Hook Massacre 2. Meat Hook Massacre 2. It's the sequel. What I'm really hoping is they spoil this card, and it's literally the Meat Hook Massacre, but the rebalanced alchemy version. It's just the alchemy version that they rebalance, and it's the same card, and they just put it in standard. It works. It's like so corny. It's so cheesy. But horror movies always have like a million horrible sequels. So Meat Hook Massacre 2 actually is kind of perfect for this set. Orphans of the Week, probably a Children of the Corn reference. Split Up and Unsettling Twins. So preview stream from PAX West, 5 o'clock Eastern time, 2 p.m. Pacific time. On Saturday. Sadly, I will not be co-streaming this one because I'm out Saturday doing some stuff. So I won't be able to stream this one. We'll do spoilers on the site though, but I gotta say, that set's looking so incredibly sweet. Some people in horror movies think in the most irrational way. I'm thinking because they're scared, and that's why they do stupid things. 90% of them are stupid. I guess that's also true, right? If you have some psycho killer chasing you, you're probably not thinking in the most logical way. So maybe in defense of people in horror movies, maybe we should cut them a little slack because it is a tough situation. Remember that drowsy that makes you only cast odd spells? What if it was a horror something that makes you only cast prime spells? Oh, that would be so brutal. If you could only cast prime spells, that would have to cost a lot of mana. Is it weird that I'm more excited for Foundations and what they're going to reprint? I mean, I'm very excited for that, dude. I'm just excited about Standard right now. But right now, I'm excited about seeing what Modern's like. So what are we actually playing today? We can talk about Dustmorn. We can talk about the bannings. We can talk about the Nadu debacle. All that stuff as we go along. But what are we going to be playing today? So we are going to try this turn-shifting Woodlands into Omniscience deck. So what does this deck want to do? So the goal of this deck is really simple. We need to find Shifting Woodlands, which is a land that for 4 mana can turn into something in your graveyard if you have Delirium. So we need to find that. And then we need to get Omniscience in the graveyard. Once we do that, we can use Shifting Woodlands to become an Omniscience, and then everything becomes free. So then, if you look at our deck, we have all these weird cantrips, Seed of Hope cantrips, Cash Grab cantrips, Malevolent Rumble cantrips. These help us find our combo pieces. Also, they just help us dig through our deck. As we dig through our deck, what are we looking for? How do we win the game with this deck? So first, we need to find Karn the Great Creator to tutor artifacts from our sideboard. Then we tutor Ancestral Statue from our sideboard. Ancestral Statue, 4 mana 3/4, doesn't matter, we're gonna have Omniscience, so it's actually free. When it enters, we return a non-land permanent back to our hand. Notice it does not say another non-land permanent. So Karn grabs the Ancestral Statue, we can cast this an infinite number of times, bouncing itself, and then after we cast it, a million times or so, the last time we bounce the Karn back to our hand, the Karn is going to find Aetherflux Reservoir from our sideboard. Aetherflux Reservoir, cast one more spell, gain 1,000,000 life, shoot our opponent in the face, game over on the spot. So that is the goal of the deck. So land into Omniscience, into Karn, into Ancestral Statue of all things, combo off and win the game, and we're gonna see what Modern's like. Also, yeah, you can also bounce the One Ring a bunch of times and protect yourself a bunch of times. What is this? So this deck, I believe, is originally an Inspiring Spike deck, I'm pretty sure, but it is nonsense. I'm excited to try it. I think it's going to be a creature or an enchantment that cares about other cards referencing prime numbers, like the way Baron von Count did. Ooh. Oh. Okay, so it could be, what was that, what was the fairy? Talon? The fairy that they spoiled and everyone was like, that's pretty cool, but it's not as good as Shieldred. And it ended up being pretty cool, but not as good as Shieldred. But the one that's like, you play it and you name a number, and then whenever you cast, your opponent casts something of that number, you draw a card and they take some damage. It could be something like that, right? That would make sense. Like, whenever your opponent casts something with mana value equal to a prime number, they lose some life, you gain some life, you draw a card. It could be an effect like that. I think it would be a little bit extreme if it was you just can't cast things that are prime numbers, because that would lock out what, 2s and 3s, 2s and 3s and 5. That's actually, that would be a very brutal. Like, if it was actually just like a Chalice of the Void that locked out prime numbers, that would probably be Modern playable if it was cheap enough. Is one a prime number? I'm not, is it? Is one a prime? I don't believe if one is actually a prime number. Is one a prime number? No, it's not a prime number. The number 1 only has 1 factor. For a number to be a prime number, it should have exactly 2 factors, which would be 1 and then the number itself. So according to the rules, 1 is not actually a prime number. Oh. Did Woodlands Omniscience trick and Brawl? Discard deck didn't know what hit them. Yeah, this deck would actually be very good against a discard deck, I think. So what is the hype level for Dustmorn heading into it? Ooh, we got the Shifting Woodlands. So we're on the play. Actually, I think we just mulligan this. We don't really want all these Omnisciences in hand. Let's just mulligan. Okay, this is better. This is better. So we put the Omniscience to the bottom. We got the Shifting Woodlands. We got a One Ring to hopefully get banned. Uh, I mean, honestly, I don't even care about prime numbers until they come to Magic. Now I have to care. Honestly, I have a question for you, chat. Why do prime numbers actually matter? Is there any? I should probably know this. Speaking of go back to school, is there any value to prime numbers, or is it just a weird quirk of mathematics that we talk about for no reason? Is there like some, I don't know, computer code or something that only exists because it's based on prime numbers? Okay, essential for internet security. Interesting. Does the One Ring? Does the Daybreak? No, the Daybreak account has. It has all the versions of the card. I don't know why I defaulted to this one, but I actually kind of like this one. I like that you can't read it. It makes it even more tilting. That makes sense. So there's a purpose. What are we playing? Did you see weekly MTG stream? I'm personally disappointed that they are reducing the number of BNRs per year. What's your thoughts? Ooh, I did not see the weekly MTG stream today. I did see, of course, all the BNR stuff from yesterday. So that I did see. I don't really like reducing the number of BNRs per year. I think we didn't actually talk about that. So one of the changes to go along with yesterday's BNR is they're changing when BNRs happen to take into account like RCQ season, PTQ season, that kind of stuff. So they're changing the dates to make that, to take into account that, which I think is wise. I think it's very smart that they actually take into account the seasons, because that's something they weren't doing before that was not working well. So I think it's wise for them to do that. I will also say, though, that I don't like less BNRs per year. I think that less BNRs per year is a bad thing because sometimes things are broken and things need to be fixed. And I'm a little worried if we're having less BNRs per year, that's going to mean more months of Nadus, more months of Hogax, more months of really busted stuff. Man. Oh, opponent. I want to play this One Ring, but I think they're just going to counter it, and then I'm going to be sad. But I mean, what else are we supposed to do? 1, 2, 3, 4. One Ring. Don't counter it. It'll be fine. Please. Oh my goodness, it resolved. Okay. Okay. Life is good. Cards will be drawn. The One Ring is so incredibly broken. Wait, the ghosts are shifting the camera? Oh, camera. What are you doing? What ghosts? It's a Duskmourn thing. It's a Duskmourn thing. It's a flavor win because of Duskmourn. Why is this? Oh, wait. Okay, hang on. Now we're shifted the wrong way. We were on Arena instead of Moto. This is how it should be set up for Moto. I was wondering why the chat was in the wrong place. That makes way more sense. Well, let's pass the turn. Probably draw when they go to correct their fetch. All right, draw with the One Ring. All right, Seed of Hope is fine. That fills the graveyard. All we got to do is fill the graveyard, and then hopefully we get to do the thing. Bone it. Tune the narrative. Untaps. I mean, the One Ring is so ridiculous. Do you think there are any plans to reprint the One Ring soon? If they aren't banning it, the price is out of control. All right, there's a Leyline Binding to get rid of our One Ring. Opponent. We just want to draw some cards. Stomping Grounds, that's not very helpful. Well, Seeds of Hope. Mill a couple cards. Get back 0? I think 0. Zero. Well, I mean, we're gonna go for it. We're gonna go for it. Tap our manas. Omniscience. It might be a little tapped, but that's okay. Tapped Omniscience still does its thing. Traverse for free. Hold, hold, hold. You better not blow up our Omniscience about it. Just die. Just die. Just die to the glory of our Omniscience land. Hey, what's up, Stone Raid? How are you? I think it's possible. Hey, what's up, Stone Raid? Oh, all right. Opponent. Forces. Well, we will pass the turn. Oh, brutal. Brutal, 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 brutal. I think a one ring reprint is very possible. Opponent has a one ring. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. I think that something like a special sheet, like Enchanted Tales or something, would be a place that one ring could easily be reprinted. Well, so far, opponent's been very... We need to draw literally any bit of action, and we should be able to win the game here. Any bit of action, cantrip card draw. Fable of the Mirror Breaker is not it. Well, okay. Play the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. This just gives our opponent so many turns to find something, though. Oh, are we going to have Omniscience and not win? Getting ready for a birthday weekend. Hey, happy birthday, Stone Rain. What are you doing for your birthday? Oh, God. There's no way they can put the One Ring in Foundations. That card is too busted. I almost think the conspiracy theory that there's something in the contract that keeps them from banning it, I'm almost getting to the point where I think it's true. It's just so weird to me that they've been talking about it for, like, literally over a year in BNRs. Talking about, like, how they're watching it, how it's so strong. But then nothing ever changes. Opponent blows up all of our stuff. We draw. Nothing. Well, Misty Rainforest, go. I mean, this is just a one ring game, right? So our opponent played a one ring. They've drawn 6 extra cards for the cost of 3 life. And they have 8 cards. We have 1 card. And that's magic. Man, our deck did the thing too. It just didn't matter because our opponent had answers to the one ring and we did not have answers to the one ring. Cachet grab, Karn. Can we just scoop now, chat? Can we just scoop? Oh, that sounds fun, Stone Rain. Like, there's no way. Karn is a thing that's good. It just doesn't matter because our opponent's drawing so many cards. That's the thing people don't realize about the One Ring. When people say, oh, like, the One Ring doesn't actually, like, it doesn't win you the game. It does, though. People just don't realize that it does. Like, our opponent has won the game with this One Ring. I know our life total's in 19, but they have won this game. The One Ring, it is just as much as Splinter Twin, Kiki Jiki, whatever. Like, it has done it. It has already done that job. It's just going to take another, like, 8 turns for our life total to hit 0. But it is just as deterministic, very close to as deterministic as getting Splinter Twinned or Nadud or whatever. And opponent has a counter spell, and we will scoop it up. Yeah, I mean, not banning... The thing about the One Ring is... It's going to be super in demand even once it's banned because it's literally the best card you can play in every commander deck. It's the best card you can play in every commander deck. Maybe not literally because of Soul Ring, but it is one of the best cards so you can play in any commander deck. So I don't think that it would really change much of anything. Like, it's one of the best legacy cards. It sees vintage play. It's the best card in Commander. So yeah, I mean, I guess it would minimize demand, but I think that the One Ring would still be a very hyped chase reprint, even if it got banned for Modern. Even if it got banned for Modern, I think it would be perfectly fine. Well, okay, so that was interesting. We did the thing. The thing just didn't actually end up mattering because our opponent had all the answers. I mean, so the popular wisdom right now is energy is probably S tier moving forward. You can play any pile of cards and win if you curve into your rings. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like, So on one hand, right, it makes you feel like you're winning with your janky brews, which is a good feeling, right? Like, I played Soul Sisters and I won a couple of games. In reality, your Soul Sisters are just as bad as they always were, but those games that you drew the One Ring, it went well for you because the One Ring is incredibly busted. I mean, I've experienced that myself many times. Just moved yesterday. Oh, good luck, Lucid. Moving is definitely not fun. So stressful and wild. This stream is a balm to my soul. My new place is awesome, though. Oh, well, I'm glad you've made it. I'm glad you made it, Lucid. Yeah, moving is kind of the worst. I kind of hate moving. Hopefully, I will not have to moving in for a while. Wait, am I echoing? Yeah, it turns out pretty much anything's nuts when you get to draw 10 extra cards. no matter what you're doing, it's very good when you draw 10 extra cards. Well, Season Pyro. This deck is essentially just all card draw. It's pretty much just all card draw, hoping to assemble the combo. Do we even play the Haywire Might? Is it even worth it? Let's just Wooded Foothills. Pass the turn. Yeah, I bought a house a couple years ago. I think it's been a couple years now. It's going well overall. Definitely more work than renting, I will say. I didn't realize there is some upside to renting, which is you just don't have to worry about anything. But there's also definitely an upside to having your own place where you don't have to deal with landlords and stuff like that. How soon do you think a reprint of the One Ring will happen? The price is out of control. Also, I think... I guess we can keep that. Also, as I think more about the cards that could be in Foundations, do you think that Reanimate is a good candidate? I think that Reanimate is about 4 mana cheaper than Wizards allows Reanimation in Standard. I would be very surprised to see it in Standard. Wizards is just very, very, very conservative with Reanimation. The going rate for Reanimation is really like 5 mana with an upside. So it would be shocking to see something like Reanimate actually show up in Standard. Pound it, gonna counter our spell. Maybe this is just a bad matchup. This might just be a bad matchup because they just have so many counters and so much interaction. That's seeming like a possibility. Well, Season Pyro countered. So I think that the most likely thing is there's no One Ring reprint this year, even within the next year. Like, technically, they can sell the one Lord of the Rings for another year or something. So I think that well, let's see if we can resolve a Season Pyro. Season Pyromancer number 2. What do we think, opponent? The Season Pyro's not even like that good. It's alright, but it's not that good. How likely do you think Commandeer will be? So, I would say that's also very... Gosh darn it. Alright, opponent stifles our Season Pyromancer trigger for some reason. Well, we will play a Haywire Might and pass the turn. Wow, this is the worst. Hey Zev, how are you doing? Have you ever considered doing some Pauper videos? Format's in such good shape at the moment. We've done Pauper in the past. It's been a while since I've actually played Pauper, but playing Pauper at some point is a definite possibility. I feel like Pauper, for me, I enjoy it to some extent. I enjoy it, but it's not a format I play a lot. I think, like, I kind of miss the higher power level. I feel like all the... So my perception of Pauper is this, is that all the strongest cards are interactive spells, which I feel like leads to a weird format. Maybe it's different now, because I know they've upped the power, and it's been a while since I played. I don't think anyone should be lined up against them all in shot. I mean, Hasbro might have done some things that I disagree with, but that seems a wee bit harsh, perhaps, for a Magic the Gathering issue. Well, that's Malevolent Rumbling. What about Commandeer? Okay, so the problem with Commandeer is I don't think they'll print a free spell into Standard for 5 years. You got to remember, these cards are going into Standard forever, for the next 5 years. And Wizards, oh my god, even more counters. And Wizards has, well, that's okay, let's traverse. How are we doing with running out of counters, opponent? Are we doing it? Or are we going to take a Seasoned Pyromancer? We'll play a Mountain. We will try for the 3rd time to resolve a Seasoned Pyromancer. Magic gods, please. If you counter this with Consigned to Memory, opponent, don't. Oh, we didn't draw anything worthwhile anyway. Okay, all that for Utopia Sprawl in a Misty Raid Forest. Jumbo to Jamba, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. So we've seen on Magic Arena that Wizards doesn't think very highly of free spells outside of Eternal formats. They won't even allow them to show up in Historic. So I would be very surprised. We really need some sort of mill effect here. Well, all right. We can do this again. Misty Rainforest. Crack the Misty Rainforest. Grab a Surveil land. Surveil. One ring to the top. Play Utopia Sprawl on a Stomping Ground. And play a Seasoned Pyromancer. We're trying. We are fighting and clawing and drawing, but our opponent just keeps wrathing our board. One ring and even more lands. Well, pass the turn. Hey-o, new to the stream and Magic. Mind if I ask a question? Not at all. What is up, Straying Dream? Welcome to the stream, by the way, and to Magic. But you got to remember with Foundations, 5 years is a long time. And Wizards wants to be able to print exciting cards in the sets themselves. So something like Commandeer, I could see Commandeer showing up in Standard, but I 100% think it'll be in a rotating set. Same with even like Path to Exile. Maybe, boy, if they do Land of War, I guess you could see an argument for Path, but I would be kind of surprised. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, all right. All right. How do we do this? So, man, we're so close and yet so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. The One Ring resolves. Wooded Foothills. Crack the Wooded Foothills. Thin the deck. Grab a forest. Draw with the One Ring. Haywire Might, that is not bad. Play the Haywire Might. Haywire Might swiping your opponent's One Ring is better than the Karn here, I think. And snipe you out of here. Gain some life. Card draw minimized. Oh, all right. Does our One Ring stick? That is the question. No attacks. I mean, it's probably even needed. So I think it's needed because Modern's mostly just about goldfishing into your kills faster than your opponents a lot of the time. So I think it's needed in that context. Like, yes, another threat could be nice, but if you play against something like Storm or any of the combo decks, it's just about being faster than your opponent. And Utopia Sprawl is just a speed things up a bit card. Well, all right. 1, 2. Let's see if we can bait with this Karn. How have we not got an Omniscience in the graveyard yet? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Karn the Great Creator. Opponent's going to Subtlety, pitching it to Fairy Time Raveler. The fun never ends. So we'll put the card on the top so we can draw it again next turn. Go to combat. Hit you with the Seasoned Pyromancer. Come on, opponent. Just die, control deck. Down to 10. And one ring. The one ring wars continue. Resolves. Draw the card. Pass the turn. Do you think they'll print a card in Foundations that'll see more play than Llanowar Elf? I mean, Llanowar Elf will see a lot of play. The only thing I would say is green has kind of sucked for a while. So maybe there's cards that see more play just because green is such a bad color. Well, that's one ring. Whew, okay. Rumble. Let's do a little rumbling. Can we find that Omniscience? Get it in the graveyard? No. Well, let's take the Fable. Mill some cards. Go to combat. Hit you with the Seasoned Pyromancer. I mean, I feel like this matchup has just been... like, we're doing things, but when it comes down to it, both games have been won by whoever has managed to keep a one ring. Like, that is actually the TLDR, is who actually got to keep a one ring long enough to refill their hand. I mean, what kind of stuff do you want to see in Foundations? So with Grief and Fury Band, how do you feel about Solitaire, Endurance, and Subtlety in Modern? Ugh, another Wrath of the Skies. I would be surprised if we needed another Evoke Elemental band. Well, let's see if they can answer. Ooh, can't answer the one ring. All right. Well, opponent keeps wrathing, but we are drawing all the cards, which is what really matters. One ring. Sooner or later, Omniscience will be found. And then we get to do the combo, in theory, and win the game. Armageddon? Oh, I don't know if WotC would go for that. What if they just like reprinted Alpha? That would be kind of cool. It would be cool if they did something like that for like 30th anniversary. Not like the 30th anniversary edition kind of reprinting, but what if they just took one of those old sets and just reprinted it into standard, or like 90s Masters in standard? What if Foundations is actually just like the hits of the 90s, Stone Rains and Armageddons and Sarah Angels? I guess the problem is a lot of none of the creatures would see play. Like the biggest bombs of the day are just stone unplayable by today's standards. Homeland Masters. That set would be like 2 cards. Not even. Would there even be 2 cards in Homeland Masters? There might not even be 2 cards. Well, 1, 2, 3. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. We might need to do a weird little trick here, which is we might need to turn Shifting Woodlands into a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Huh. That doesn't actually work, does it? We'd get the Goblin? That's probably something we should be doing more of. I guess we can just Shifting Woodlands on our upkeep to make Fables, to make Goblins each turn and try to win that way. Did I buy Order of the D&D Secret Lair? I did not. I'm not like a big D&D player. I do want the mystery boosters though. I might buy. So I tried to buy mystery boosters the day they went to sale. Does that plan not work? Oh, it'll just die? Huh. Okay, that might be a bad idea. Oh, I see. Yeah, because it'll be a saga with no lore counters, so that's not ideal. Okay, we will not do that. On second thought, chat has convinced me that perhaps we will not sacrifice our Shifting Woodlands for no reason. Good call, chat. I feel like you might be baiting me. It does work. So I feel like because it's an enchantment, it should work, right? Because if you have I feel like people are confused because of Urza's Saga. And Urza's Saga dying to random things. But maybe that, you know what, I gotta look this up. What happens if a Saga has no counters? Let's... Oh no, it's gotta work though, right? I'm so confused, because you can remove all the counters from things with Hex Parasite, right? Okay, so it seems like it should work. Okay, it should work. Well, opponent countered all of our stuff, and then eventually scoop. Both of these games, see, I feel like these games actually show why I think the One Ring should be banned. Because so far, we're playing this janky combo deck. Our opponent's playing a control deck. And so far, both games, all that has mattered is who resolved the One Ring. Neither of us actually finished the game. What led to the opponent scooping was the other player sticking a One Ring and refilling their hand. And that was how the game... So when you think of the One Ring not winning the game, I think these are examples of the One Ring quite literally winning the game, where one person is just so far ahead in resources, the other person's like, there's no point in me even playing anymore. So I think that's what the One Ring does. Do you think that fetch lands with modern phrasing would be good? Tap and sack, reveal the top card of your library to reveal a mountain or a plains, put it on the battlefield. Yeah, I mean, those would be good. They would be, so they're actually kind of interesting. They would be slightly less good than current fetches, I believe. They would be somewhat less good, but they would still be very good. They would be especially less good if you're playing some sort of like 5-color deck where you need to be, like we see this with the modern decks that want to turn on Leyline Binding, where you like want to snipe your Triome, although maybe you could still build around that. Maybe you could have like a fetch that only finds like a swamp and still hit your Xander's Lounge in your rule deck or whatever. So maybe you could still build around it. But my gut would be they'd be very, very good, but slightly worse than existing fetches. Let's just Misty go. So question for you, chat. Do you play the One Ring in your commander decks? Goblin Guide in Foundations. I think Goblin Guide would be fine. Goblin Guide. I honestly don't think Goblin Guide is too good anymore. Like, Goblin Guide is roughly the same power level, in my opinion, as Monastery Swiftspear. And we've had Monastery Swiftspear in Standard for a while. Having them both in Standard might be a little bit annoying. I could see that maybe being a little salty, because then you're almost playing against, like, Modern Burn. Cloudroth, welcome to the Fishbowl. Ooh, thank you. We got to keep that, right? We got to keep it. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super, thank you. I only own one, and it's Borderline CDH. I mean, that's the question. That's the debate that we've had about it, is, like, is it a card that you just don't play because it's too good or too easy? There's obviously... It improves your deck. I don't think there's any debate about that. But I'm curious how many people actually play it just because it is very expensive. And it is, like, maybe not casual for everyone. I missed your gift sub. Oh no! My apologies, Stone Rain. We have a gift sub from Stone Rain heading over to Dog of Myth. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you for your subscription. Big super cheer for you, and also thank you to Stone Rain for handing out the gift subs. Definitely appreciate it. Sorry for missing it earlier. Let's cash grab. No spell snare. No spell snare. We just want some cash. Oh, wait, the other way. Dogamith with the gift sub to... Oh, it was for your birthday. Duh. Dogamith with the birthday gift sub to Stone Raid. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big subscription for you. Looney. How are you, Looney? Good to see you. Good to see you. I don't play it because it's so easy and powerful. Same goes for other similar cards. Teferi's Protection. Ooh, wait. We need Shifty, I think. We got to get Shifty in here. How are there only 8 minutes on our clock? How is that possible? So we will pass the turn. Oh, we're kind of close. We have 4 card types. Narsat, Parter of Annoyingness. Opponent going to tick down. So we need 2 more turns. So we can play Fable this turn. Opponent finds another Narsat. Oh, come on, deck. Come on, deck. So play the Shifting Woodlands. Run out the Fable. The problem is we can't draw cards. So I don't know if we actually... Oh, opponent has a Force of Negation. So I don't know if we actually win, even with Omniscience here, past the turn. About it. Hey, see you, Golden Dragon. Thanks for swinging by. Opponent taking down the Narsat. We need to bring the Teferi creature back. Maybe a Blue Devotion deck. Wait, what's the Teferi creature? Is this the first round? This is the first round. Wooded Foothills. I'll play the Wooded Foothills. So we can turn this into an Omniscience. It just doesn't do anything. So I guess we just pass? Our opponent's clearly leaving up interaction here anyway. So let's just pass. We can't One Ring because of Narsat. Or can't draw with the One Ring. We can get a Surveil land, I guess. Oh, whoa. Yeah, old school Teferi Mage's Elf here. Need to do some knowledge pooling, maybe. Oh, I used to love that card. That's back when I used to like Teferi. Creature Teferi was just like a fun, janky lock piece. Planeswalker Teferis, a little more hit and miss as far as how fun they are to play with. I was thinking, Teferi is old school. So you know what blew my mind? I mentioned this on Twitter the other day, but Teferi does not have a Flipwalker, right? Not that I can think of. Let's Seed of Hope. Get back a Seasoned Pyro, I guess. Even though there's a Narsat. Crack the Wooded Foothills. How do we get rid of this Narsat? Mill the land. Untap. There's a Karn. So play the Wooded Foothills. So I think step 1 is we actually have to exile the Seasoned Pyro from the graveyard to make 1/1s to attack the Narsat to get it off the battlefield so that we can try to combo. Opponent. Opponent's got a lot of action, that's for sure. All right, can we kill a Narsat? Wooded Foothills, crack it. Seth, for Modern Horizons 4, we need ally-colored Flipwalkers and ally-colored Horizon Canopy lands. Ooh. Definitely want the rest of the Horizon lands. And, I mean, I actually like the Flipwalkers. I'd be down with more Flipwalkers. Now, let's get the Seasoned Pyro. Make a couple 1/1s. Untap. Go to combat. Attack this incredibly annoying Narsat. Hopefully to death. Come on. We just want to draw some cards, opponent. Ooh, all right, Narsat down. So now what? Our opponent's got to have counters. They got to have counters for days. 1, 2, 3. Seasoned Pyro? See if we can filter away a land or two, maybe. I can't believe this deck can grind as much as it does. That's the surprising part. Is like we're a combo deck, but we're up against this control deck, and we're kind of drawing cards right alongside them somehow. Discard a couple lands, draw a couple more lands, play Wooded Foothills, and pass the turn. So all we really need is our opponent to tap out. If we can get our opponent tapped out, or get around to, we got to get around force too. Oh, we're so close though. We're so close. We got the Woodlands. We got the Omniscience in the graveyard. Opponent's going to purge the Pyro. We have everything. We got the Karn for the combo kill. Found it. Finds a land. Monamo. And passing. Well, crack the Wooded Foothills. Get a Stomping Grounds tapped. Untap. It'll be a sprawl. Well, counters seem very likely. Huh. What do we do, chat? What do we do? We're turning our land into Omniscience and then comboing off, but our opponent's control, so it's making it difficult. Now, let's play Utopia Sprawl. On green. So do we make an Omniscience here? Is it worth it? The funny thing is how this game is played out. We could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We could basically just be casting Omnisciences at this point. I'm too scared to go for it. I'm too scared to go for it. We're gonna get so blown out. I'm more worried about them just exiling the Omniscience, which seems likely. Oh, all right. We're gonna. Oh, we got to go for it. We got to go. We're gonna go for it. We'll go for it. All right. So shifting. We don't need blue mana because we have shifting Woodlands. Shifting Woodlands becomes an Omniscience. One ring for free. Yeah, the clock is becoming. These matches should not take that long for this deck. We went for it. We went for it. We did. It feels wrong. I mean, in this case, it's not just open mana, but they're a straight up control deck. But you are right. Gotta live up to the New Year's resolution. I mean, we do have a Haywire Might. So if their plan is exile this, exile our Omniscience with like a Leyline Binding or something, we can Haywire Might to get it back. It will be in land form, but still. Opponent consigned to memory. All right, how about a Karn? Opponent has a Subtlety. Well, worst Omniscience ever. Yeah, I mean, we'll keep the Karn. We'll pass the turn. No, well, apparently they didn't have an answer to the Omniscience. That's something. The One Ring in the graveyard we can also copy to draw cards. That is the thing we could be doing. Might be a better thing we can be doing about it. Yeah, I don't even think we want our opponent to know that we have the Might at this point. Plus, if we run it out, we're just running it out into their wrath. Here comes the Narset again. No card draw for us. Opponent ticks down. I feel like this has got to be about our worst matchup. It's got to be. Opponent finds a One Ring. It's got to be about our worst matchup. About it. Passes. We draw a Karn. Well, I mean, do we do the thing again? Do we try 1, 2, 3, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Shifting Woodlands. Copy the Omniscience. Karn for free. It never ends. It never ends. It never ends. Opponent takes down the Narset. Whiffs. Somehow. Yeah, so the Woodlands, when you activate Woodlands, it becomes a copy of a permanent in your graveyard. So you can't leyline binding. You can't leyline binding the Shifting Woodlands, but once it becomes an Omniscient, then it's just an enchantment. And then our opponent can do any enchantment-y stuff to it. Yeah, it's a very unique card. This is actually, I think, the only card that exists like this on a land. About it. Gonna blow up our tokens to keep their Narset, I assume. Wrath of the Skies. Blows everything up. Goes attacking. So we know our opponent has a One Ring in hand. We draw another Shifting Woodlands. So if we copy Karn, we have no loyalty. All right, well, pass the turn. Oh, man, I almost wish we just had a creature land. I wish we just had a creature land that we could turn this into to attack the Narset. Found it, combat. Yeah, we got to do it during our opponent's turn because they have this silly Narset staxing us out of the game. But we will, during our opponent's turn, copy to draw a card. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Shifting Woodlands. Become a One Ring. And draw a card. Even more Woodlands. Untap. It's a Karn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go again. Copy the Omniscience. Play a Karn. Not again. Not a... Opponent. Opponent finds a Force of Negation. We will play a Shifting Woodlands. We will pass the turn. The amount of counters in our opponent's deck is overwhelming. About it. Now they're going to play the One Ring. Draw a ton of cards. Yup. They can untap the One Ring to draw even more cards. We can't win because our opponent has a One Ring. And plays a Surveil land. Oh, what a what a matchup. What a matchup. Yeah, I mean, we can do it. The Narset is just... This game would be so much better if we weren't getting stacks by the Narset. And now our opponent has the One Ring. We can't answer it, but they're going to draw 3 cards, which is a lot more counters to fight through. I mean, they're tapped down now, but we're just out of action. So, and we spend our Karns. Like, we can get the Omniscience, but the Omniscience doesn't do anything without something to go with it. Opponent gets in with the Subtlety. Sure. Hits us down to 9. I guess we're dying to Subtlety, too, technically. Well, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Shifting Woodlands. Wait, is that one Summoning Sick? That better not be Summoning Sick. Shifting Woodlands. Become a One Ring. It still has a counter on it too. We only get to draw one though. Well, okay, it's a one ring. And a land that we can't even fetch anything for. Well, play a Haywire Might. And sack the Haywire Might to get rid of the one ring. Oh, we're going to time out, aren't we? We're going to have to play faster. Snipe the one ring. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shifting Woodlands. Become a Haywire Might. Go to combat. Kill the Narset. We did it. We found a way. We found a way to kill the Narset. And play Beseiju. And pass the turn. Okay. I mean, the game's still going. I mean, Shifting Woodlands is kind of ridiculous. It does do it all. The problem now is, even if we combo, we're not going to be able to complete the combo before we time out. So in the future, we're probably not going to be playing control, but in the future, we're going to have to play faster if we do run into control, because there's no way we're going to go through the loop without timing out. Opponent hits us to 8 and passes. Misty Rainforest, dead card. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shifting Woodlands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shifting Woodlands become an Omniscience. And one ring for free. Resolves. Draw a card. Okay, Karn for free. Do you have a counter? We also still can't literally win the game because they have protection from the one ring. So even if we go infinite, I don't think we can win. Oh man, we had to fight in Claw so long. And now we're gonna, oh. Opponent has another consign to memory. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shifting Woodlands. Copy the one ring. Keep the Woodlands one ring. Draw some cards. Cash grab. Get a Season Pyromancer. Oh, we're timing out. We're timing out. Season Pyromancer. Season Pyromancer. Discard the lands. Malevolent Rumbling. For Season Pyro. Yeah, we're gonna run out of time. Malevolent Rumbling. We need a Karn. We need a Karn. Man. Oh, there it is. So we would have won. We would have won. We would have won. Man, if we had played faster, we would have won. Oh. Well, that counts as a loss in the league. But as far as actually winning, we played against the crimmiest, most obnoxious control deck. And we got there in the end. In the end, we ran out of time. But in the end, we did eventually stick the thing. And we would have been able to win the game. Like, the Karn gets the loop, gets the Aetherflux Reservoir, shoots our opponent. The Haywire Might exiles the one ring, so we would have been able to do it. But, well, hopefully we don't play control again. That was brutal. If you need some control cards, you can get them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Are you guys doing anything special for your 500th episode of the podcast? I'm not sure. And I should probably know that because that's coming up next episode. Last episode, what did you think about having CBG on? CGB. What do you think about having CGB on? It was super fun. I enjoyed having CGB on. It's always funny when you do podcasts. It'll be the fish mail cast. 500 fish mail. We answer 500 fish mail. Would I shave my beard for episode 500? No. No. there's no chance. If I ever shave my beard, it's gonna have to be for charity. It's gonna have to be a charity thing, and even then, it's gonna have to be like, I don't want to say a good charity because that's the wrong way to phrase it, but it would have to be something for charity and something pretty special, I think, for me to actually shave the beard. I swear none of you would recognize me. If I did not have the beard, I don't think any of you would recognize me. I like CGB, but it was you and two blue mages. That is true. I was outvoted by the control players. Those dirty, dirty control players. Wow, are we back to Yogg? Well, I guess now that Nadu's gone, Yogg might be the creature combo deck now. I mean, he does like horrible birds. Do you have an old photo without a beard? I've had a beard for... I'm going to have to look. I'm going to have to look and see if I can find a photo without a beard. I've had a beard for a long... I can find one from when I was, like, super young. I know that those exist. Well, let's cash grab. See if we survive this turn. Mill some cards. Get back the Karn. Enchantment creature instant. Or enchantment creature land. Huh. Planeswalker. So if we get back the Karn, we still have Delirium. Yeah, let's take the Karn. And we need the Omniscience in the graveyard. How do we get the Omniscience in the graveyard? Okay, it's up to Wooded Foothills. So Wooded Foothills is going to surveil Omniscience into the graveyard here. I have faith. I have faith. I don't know if my heart could take seeing me without a beard, because it feels wrong to me too. Opponent. According calling for 1. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. I wonder if I can find a picture. Another young wolf. All right, so opponent's set up to potentially just go infinite, I think. Or infinite-ish. All right, I'm seeing if I can find a picture without a beard. There's still like a There were times when I had shorter beards. They weren't always as long. Opponent gets in. So I'm pretty sure we need to literally surveil the Omniscience here to have a shot. Our opponent's infinite, but well, they're not infinite because they're going to run out of life. But our opponent can draw a ton of cards. They got the 2 young wolves. About it. Oh, I found a picture of young me without a beard. I think this counts. I can't, let's just surveil and then we can have 6. Come on. We need Omniscience on the top of the deck. We need Omniscience on the top. Come on. Gotta be that Omniscience. Come on, deck. Come on. Well, all right. Utopia Sprawl. So I think we're just dead then. All right. Do your thing, opponent. All right. Here's a picture. This is actually, it's mostly beardless. See, that's when I was young and pretty. Maybe you could recognize me. You might be able to recognize me even with the beard. How old was I? Oh my god. Like, I don't know. 19, 20? Like, I was like super young. But I don't think you'd recognize me. I don't know, maybe I'd look different now because this is like a long time ago. I've had a beard for so long. I can't find a recent picture without a beard because I've always had a beard. Once you get into the beard life, it's a commitment, but you gotta stick with it. I don't even know. I think it was at a Oh, so maybe I might have been 21. You're right. That would make sense. It was at some sort of like, I don't know, art thing in college. I don't remember. Some sort of like art show thing. Just someone else who was at the show. I used to hate my beard, but it grew on me. I think let's see. Oh, wait, oh God. Oh yeah. Oh, that one's really tiny. Come on. I don't think there's any way we can win from here, right? There's just no cards in our deck that do anything. Opponent's at 1. Opponent's been comboing off. So turn 3 kill. And that doesn't do anything. So Karn doesn't do anything. Cash grab. So we're just dead, right? We can like turn Shifting Woodlands into Grizzlebrand, but that doesn't do anything. Karn doesn't stop the combo kill. So I think we just scoop. Bolt the face. I mean, I have to imagine they can win the game now. They just drew 25 cards. 25 cards. They just drew half their deck. Well, let's traverse. Maybe there's something I'm not thinking of that stops this, but I'm pretty sure there's just nothing in our main deck that stops us from dying here. Season Pyro. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can play it out. Sure. Stomping Grounds, untapped. Run out the Season Pyro. Draw and discard. I mean, we do have to get the Omniscience in the graveyard for any of our plans to work. All right, go ahead, opponent. Opponents. Cracks the Verdant Catacombs down to 2. I mean, they also can just play like a Blood Artist. Maybe they don't have it. If they don't have it here, then Yaga's a lot worse than I remember it being. Or their opponent's just getting super unlucky. Oh, opponent has a Shifting Woodlands. Apparently they're the better Shifting Woodlands deck. Opponent. Pump fakes. And Karn for Pithing Needle on Yaga would be good. Karn for Tormod's Crypt is fine. Okay, Grist. Does our opponent just actually not have... Okay, Mills makes a token. Does our opponent just actually not have the win here? Or are they just slow rolling? Bogart Trawler to exile our graveyard. Okay, we get MDF Seed. Well, now we are very far away from winning. Opponent gets in with the Yogg. Hits us. How do we deal 2 damage? Opponent passes. Wow, I cannot believe our opponent whiffed there. Well, we whiffed equally hard. Do we cash grab? I mean, they didn't have it last turn. All right, let's cash grab. No. Shifting Woodlands. 1, 2, 3. Fable the Mirror Breaker. I mean, if somehow our opponent still doesn't win next turn, then I guess we can still do it. Hold. They didn't have it last turn. They didn't have it last turn. They can't draw many more cards because they ran out of life. Come on. Opponent, Mills. No cord. No. And they top decked it. Oh. Boo. There is Pithing Needle in the sideboard. Well, I think we could have played that differently. Would you be in favor of Wizards printing tribal companions? I mean, I don't think I'm in favor of Wizards printing companions, period, ever again. That is my initial reaction, is please no, not ever. But if you have an idea of what you mean, like maybe there's a design you could sell me on that I would be down with. But I would say gut reaction is no companions. Because the thing is, like, they need to be able to do what they apparently can't do, which is put actual restrictions on them. We ran into this with Kahira, right? They printed what I would say is a tribal companion in Kahira, where it's like, all your creatures got to be cats, elementals, nightmares, dinosaurs, or bees. But when it comes down to it, how does Kahira actually see play? In decks, they just play 0 creatures. So they need to be able to do what, according to Wizards, they just can't do, which is like, somehow be like, if your deck controls 30 or more cats, you can play Kahira as your companion. Something like that. Like, then you could make it work, right? And it would only specifically work for cat decks, and you could power up a tribe that needs help because they're really janky and not very good. But the problem that Wizards had is that there's no way you can check that, right? That was their issue. They said you got to be able to check each of these companions, so you can't put like, your deck needs 30 cats, because you wouldn't know if your opponent had 30 cats in their deck. That's not easy to verify. When, if you write it this way, if you see any creature that isn't one of these things, then you just know they're breaking the companion rule or whatever. So I think that's kind of the issue. What if there were thousands of companions? Maybe there's a world where you could get there and companions could become a positive eventually. I think that companions as they are now are just like the most negative of negatives. Like, I think my worry would be that as you tried to get to thousands of companions, Magic would die in the meantime when there were 10 companions and then 20 companions and then 30 companions as you were trying to build up to 1,000 companions. Like, I could imagine a game. All right. Actually, do we need to keep the card? Put back the Grizzlebrand. So turn 1 we Seed of Hope. Turn 2 we Rumble. I really want the Seasoned Pyro, but we might need the Karn to get a... Yeah, alright, we're going to put Karn to the bottom. We're going to be a little greedy. So, yeah, I don't know how you get to that point. I could imagine there being a world where, like, every deck has some super narrow companion specifically for that deck. And it would be kind of fun because everyone would, have this like super narrow 30 cats in your deck companion. And it would just be a joyous experience all around. How you get to that point is a very different question. I don't even know if it would be possible. And even then, like, I think you'd run into problems where some would just be better than everything else. Maybe your 30 cat deck, everything is mana value 2 or less, so rather than the super janky, cute cat companion, you just play Lurrus, because Lurrus is super busted. So I think it's just it's kind of an inherently problematic mechanic. It's just an inherently bad mechanic, so I think it would be hard to ever make it work. Maybe they could do, like, a single companion for some, like, horrible deck and make it work that way, in, like, a commander precon or something. There might be a way to do something. Ooh, Omniscience and And double Karn in the graveyard. All right. Well, past the turn. So we got the card types. We got the Omniscience. Show us Shifting Wildwood. Dr. Sandor, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super thank you. I have ideas for companions. Make it so they are only castable by your opponents, and they are things like Sleeper Agent and Negative Foot with a Body. Ooh. Okay, that would actually be interesting. I don't know. Wow. Opponent kept a kind of a greedy one. That would be interesting. Well, that's Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills. Grab a mountain. Run out a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. And pass the turn. Have you ever thought about streaming on YouTube along with Twitch? Yes. I haven't done it, but I have wondered. If it would be a good idea. What dual lands do you want them to reprint in Foundations? So they're always standard legal. I think check lands are pretty fair and generically favored. That was the first thing I thought of. The buddy lands or the check lands, like the Glacial Fortress, that cycle. I think that would be pretty reasonable. Well, okay. This might be wrong, but we're going to discard the Pithing Needle, and we're going to discard the second Fable. We're trying to find it and close out the game. We draw an Omniscience. Well, okay. Seed of Hope. Can we find the Woodlands? We find a Karn. So if we find the Woodlands, we win the game. Go to combat. Hit you with a Goblin. Make a treasure. All right, Season Pyro. Show us the Shifting Woodlands so we can actually close this out. 1, 2, and 3. Season Pyro. We need to do it before our opponent finds Graveyard Hate. Discard. Shifting Woodlands. Okay. Pass the turn. It's almost party time. Opponent untaps. All we need is our opponent to keep a 1-lander and never draw land number 2, and then we got him. They drew land number 2. Things might be falling apart. What do you think about shock lands in Foundations? So I think the question is, do we ever want Wizards to have the ability to print fetch lands in Standard? I think if you put shock lands in Standard forever, check lands or buddy lands at Uncommon would be the best. Oh, that would be so good. I feel like you could put shock lands in Foundation. Shock lands are fine. Like they're not overpowered, but I do think that it would mean that you could never. Oh my god. Okay. Endurance. Shifting Woodlands will become nothing. Why is it so hard to turn a land into an Omniscience? Why do our opponents keep stopping this? Do people not like Omniscience? Oh god. Found a land. I mean, we're still okay because our opponent is just doing so little, but I mean, I kind of like the idea of being able to print fetch lands. It's going to be harder now that it's 3-year Standard. That's going to make it more difficult, but I think it's possible to print fetch lands in Standard. Maybe it doesn't matter anymore because they can just keep printing them in Modern Horizons, so maybe it's unnecessary. Malevolent Rumble. We got to make sure we don't die, probably. So let's... Yeah, we probably just got a Pithing Needle Yogg. As boring as that is. Go to combat. Do some attacking. Get in there. Hit ya. Make a treasure. I mean, Endurance, I honestly don't think we'll have to ban anymore. And this might be famous last words, but as of right now, I don't think that we're going to have to ban any more of the the Voke Elementals. I think the rest of the Voke Elementals are probably going to be fine. Probably. But that's my guess right now. Is I think the rest of them are probably fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's play the Karn. Take down the Karn for a Pithing Needle. Play it on Yogg. And now at least we're not in danger of immediately dying. Pass the turn. Although now there's an Orcish Bowmaster, which is super annoying. Modern's back? Maybe. I mean, it's kind of funny. Modern's been in such a weird place that now Yogg is like kind of nostalgic. I'm like, I haven't seen Yogg in like 6 months. Fulminator Mage. That's not nice, opponent. Man, our opponent's like teched out for this matchup. Our opponent has come prepared for the shifting Woodlands meta. About it. Passing. We draw a 1-ring. Well, take down Karn. I don't even know what we got to get here. Take down Karn. Maybe explosives. Explosives on 2 seems pretty reasonable. Yeah, let's do that. Engineered explosives. 1 and 2. Play it. I mean, this probably just wins us a game, actually. So we play the explosives on 2. This gets rid of the Cutthroat, the Wallaroots, and opponent scoops it up. Why would fetches and shocks in standard be a bad idea? So, my concern would be what happened last time we had fetches and fetchable dual lands in standard, which is, it led to the most expensive standard that we had data on. The most expensive standard since Callblade is what we went with, but we didn't have data earlier than that. But we ended up in a standard where all of a sudden tier decks started costing like $700, and this was the average. The average was $700. It peaked with some of the decks around $1,000. So what ended up happening was, because of the fetch land and fetchable dual mana base, which at the time was a battle for Zendikar dual lands, you ended up in a meta where most decks were playing like 12 or 13 fetch lands, and they were just fetching out all of the dual lands. And then you ended up with these 3 to 5 color piles of just all the best cards. So you play all the best and most expensive cards. Your mana is always perfect because you're playing all the fetches and all the shocks. And it just ended up with a super duper expensive standard format that was okay. There were good and bad points of that standard. Some of the decks I liked from that era, but there were also some not that healthy decks in the format. So that would be my concern. We've just seen in the past that the combination of fetches and fetchable dual lands can lead to some awkward situations, let's say. Last time fetches were in standard, there were people who made their decks with multiple copies of fetches that could literally only grab 1 land. I'll never understand why people brewed that way. Yeah, I mean, people are willing to go 1 land, 1 keep. People are willing to go very, very far for perfect mana. Hey, what's up, ASAP Bull? How are you? Hey, Seth, I love the recent Commander Clash with the most popular commanders. How do you like Erddragon, Mr. Winner? How many lands did it run? Ooh, let me pull it up so I tell you the proper number. I want to say 40. I want to say it was 40 lands. Let's just Misty. Correct Misty. Get a basic forest. Utopia Sprawl on red. Erddragon's actually, like, it was kind of fun. We don't play with those commanders very often, so it was kind of fun to just, like, play the really popular commanders that everyone else plays all the time. Yeah, it was 40. It was 39 plus only one MDFC in this deck. So yeah, 39 plus an MDFC. Yeah, cash grab's not bad, although I feel like it's maybe worse than Malevolent Rumbling. The Eldrazi spawn token, this being an instant is nice. Although the Eldrazi spawn token from Rumbling is also pretty nice. So that should 40 lands be the minimum for a commander deck? When should you go below or above 40? Speaking of Rumbling, I would say the absolute minimum. Is probably like 37, maybe 38. That's about as low as I ever go. Yeah, I mean, we got a Pithing Needle the Yogg, unfortunately. I don't think we can afford to try to spend it on the off chance of getting the fetch, because I think they'll just crack and response, or they should just crack and response. Let's cash grab. Grab a Shifting Woodlands. Not bad. Not bad. No Omniscience in the graveyard yet, though. Play the Shifting Woodland. And 1, 2, 3. So I shouldn't be able to Yogg this turn, right? Let's just Seed of Hope. Seed of Hope. Get back Fable of the Mirror Breaker. And pass the turn. So I would say 37-38 is about the minimum. Assuming you're playing casual, like CDH is weird. If you got all the fast mana CDH stuff, you can go lower than that. I often shoot for 40. Sometimes I go like 42, 43 if I'm playing a ton of MDFCs. If I end up with like 8 MDFCs, which I do on occasion, something like 43 total lands and 35 non-MDFC lands, I think that's fine. So that plays into it to some extent. I see people send in deck lists sometimes. There's like 33 lands, 32 lands, and it's not CDH. It's like just a normal casual deck. I cannot bring myself to do that. I guess, so the other reason to go lower, and I don't think this is a good reason, but if the one place you play Commander is with a playgroup, and the way your playgroup plays is super loose mulligans, where you're just like, we're just here for fun, everyone just get a functional hand, whatever. Like, if you're playing that style, then I could see playing lower lands, because why not, I guess, because you know you're gonna get enough lands to kind of play the game anyway. So if you're in a super loose on mulligan playgroup, but even then you want to hit your lands throughout the game too. It's not just your opening hand, you also want to be making your land drop on turn 4, turn 5, turn 6. So even then I think it's still kind of risky. Why would anyone allow infinite mulligans? Commander is a unique format because it's very casual. So if you're playing with your friends the same time every week, and you're just kind of like, do what you need to do to get a good hand, but don't, mulligan to find your Soul Ring every time or something, we'll just let it go. That kind of stuff happens quite a bit in Commander. So I think we just Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills. Grab a Mountain. Play Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Make a Goblin. And then I think we just get down the Pithing Needle on the Yogg. I mean, I'm sure they have an answer somewhere, but we do need to not die to the combo. Well, pass the turn. Dodging Bowmasters would be sweet. Would kind of like to draw with this Fable. Opponent. All right, so much for the Dodging Bowmasters. How many lands do y'all play in your decks on average in Commander? I also feel like it's become more and more correct to play more lands because they've printed more and more good utility lands for one. Wait, 20... Stinky, in Commander you play 22? Wait, in a 100 card deck, 22? Whew. Whew, I don't even usually play 22 in my standard decks. I was gonna say, around 9. I mean, how many turns is the game really gonna go, right? Probably not much more than 9, so that's a land for each turn. Check out my deck. Hey, let me see, Sure. Kind of janky for the meme part, but won 2 out of my last 3 games last time. Ooh, I mean, I do love janky meme decks. Oh, I also love seeing commander decks built around OG commanders. Shikiru Endbringer, Momir Bomb. One of the best 7s that you can hit in Momir. I kind of miss Momir. Remember, how many of you were here during the Momir era of the stream? Where, yeah, this deck looks fun. It's got a lot of cool cards in it. I like it. How many of you are here when we used to play Momir all the time? Where we'd only stream on Moto because Arena didn't exist yet. Is this Trawler? What are they getting for 3? Fulminator? And then once our league finished early, we would just play Momir. I kind of miss the joys of Momir. Opponent gets an endurance, shuffles everything in, and passes. Well, we can't Fable. Oh, actually, can we Fable? I think we Fable 1. It's gonna grow their dork, but I think this is necessary because we need this Omniscience in the graveyard. Oh, they have 2 Bowmasters. On second thought, perhaps we will hold on to this Omniscience for now. Opponent gonna ping the Goblin. All right, we will not do anything, sadly. Well, let's Seeds of Hope. Get back a land, maybe? Do we even want that? Huh. Do we need to leave the land in the graveyard? I think we can take it. We'll take the Stomping Grounds. Play the Stomping Grounds. But it's only got 1 card in hand and they can't Yogg. Now let's play Karn. Take down Karn. 4. Oh, this is actually tough. What do we take? What do we take? I think this pretty much determines the game. So Ensnaring Bridge could help keep us alive. Maybe. Explosives can get rid of the Bowmasters and turn on our card draw, but it's super slow. One Ring buys us a turn. Momir does still exist. It doesn't really see as much play anymore, but it does still exist. It's got to be something defensive. 1, 2, 3. The question is, can we get empty-handed enough for the bridge? And I'm not sure we can. Yeah, I think we just got to take explosives. Take the explosives. Pass the turn. Explosive also puts an artifact in the graveyard, which is nice. That is relevant with the Woodlands. So we can blow up the Bowmasters, get an artifact in the graveyard. Karn's going to end up in the graveyard. Then we pitch the Omniscience and we're good to go. All right, opponent goes on the big attack. We'll kill a Bowmaster. Karn down. What's that last card? Oh, they have the Yogg. Whew. Good thing we got this Pithing Needle. All right, there's the Yogg, but we got the Pithing Needle, so they can't activate it. Thank goodness. Opponent passes. flip the Fable. We might be good. We might be able to do this. 1, 2. Explosives on 2. Play the Stomping Grounds. Tapped. 1, 2, 3. I mean, we can get the Omniscience next turn. All right, pass the turn. Pass the turn. So sweep the board. Sweep the board, Omniscience. Hope that Season Pyro finds us something. Combo off, win the game. That's the plan. Opponent gonna crack. Gonna find that Surveil land. If they find an answer to the Pithing Needle, things become very bad for us. Very, very bad. How far will the Bills go in the playoffs before being knocked out is the way of the Bills. So, Bills, I know, they left it on top. Oh my God, did they actually just have an answer to Pithing Needle on top? Okay, Malevolent Rumblings. Wow, they found a Bogart Trawler. Opponent refuses to die. Opponent gonna play the Bogart Trawler. Or not. Opponent combat. Attacks, attacks, attacks. Well, we will block. Actually, let's kill the Yogg. Block, block, kill the Yogg. Actually, you know what? Maybe we keep this. You know what? We'll just block here. We can take 5 this turn. The Reflections to go with Season Pyro seems really good. Are we nuking the graveyards? All right, here comes the Trawler. This year, honestly, I think the Bills are not... I have concerns. I have concerns about the Bills this year. I think they're probably worse than last year. I'm hopeful that in another year or two, they'll be better for the short-term pain of this year, which is getting rid of a lot of their older players. But this year, I think is going to be like a kind of a growing pains year is my expectation. So I'm still hoping they like make the playoffs, but I think like last year, I felt like the Bills had a legit shot to win the Super Bowl. I felt like that for the last few years. So they actually have like a real, true, legit shot of like a real Super Bowl contenders. This year, I feel more like it'd be nice, but I'm hoping they make the playoffs this year. I think that might be the baseline for this year is making the playoffs. Wow, we hit all lands. So Wooded Foothills. Past the turn. We're at 14. Oh, we're so close. We're so close. Opponent untaps. So we can use the Reflections to copy the Season Pyro. We can get a Surveil land. Opponent goes to combat opponent. Passing. Well, okay, Wooded Fails. Crack it. They might have drawn Court of Calling. That would make the most sense. Commercial District. Yep, Surveil Grizzlebrand into the graveyard. That's actually kind of intriguing. Copy the Season Pyro. Discard, discard, draw, draw. Even more lands. Untap. Play the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Misty Rainforest. Pass the turn. Oh, do they have Chord? Did they draw Chord? That is the big question. So we lose the Season Pyro. Man, this deck plays way longer games than I would have thought. No Chording. All right, well. Crack the Misty Rainforest. Thin the deck. Grab a Forest. We are going to try to get a Grizzlebrand for a turn and draw 7, I think. What state do the Bills reside? Yeah, the Bills are the local team. Oh, wait. Oh my god. Opponent has a shifting woodland. Okay, well, let's see if they have the cord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh man, are we gonna, if we die to Bowmasters, is it worth it? Copy Grizzlebrand. Are we killing ourselves? We're about to find out. Draw 7. Please no. Oh. Oh, I'm so stupid. I didn't think they had delirium. Oh. Why does, okay. So that I guess is upon my end. For some reason, I was thinking it was going to tell me that they had delirium like it does for me. I was expecting it to say 4 card types up there if they had delirium. But, okay. So, good to know. Good to know. Moto does not show you if your opponent has delirium. Yeah, I mean, they do. I was just assuming they didn't because it tells us that we did. Oh, could have copied Pyro first. Yeah, I mean, we could. Yeah, that's true. We could have. I don't know about this deck. I don't know about this deck. The idea is funny. Yeah, I mean, it's deserving of a pun. Although I do blame the spreadsheet to some extent because, I mean, it would make sense, right? It shows us when we have it. All right, past the turn. Looks like we're up against Eldrazi. Oh boy. I think the punts reset at one point when we switched the bot. So it's got to be way more than that overall. Opponent, double Devourer of Destiny. Hey, perfect timing. We did it. 500 punts. We've been working on that for a while now. Opponent gonna exile a bunch of cards. Plays Anugin's Labyrinth while they exiled 5 lands in a Kozilek's Command. Well, Wooded Foothills. Yeah, this is actually probably a bad matchup too. Wait, are all matchups bad matchups? Maybe just every matchup is a bad matchup. Wait, are all of our matchups bad? Opponent, Ugin's Labyrinth. And Talisman Impulse off to the fast start. See, that's the thing with like the silly Utopia sprawls and so forth. It's just like, it's one of those necessary evil things. It's not something you want to play. It's just something you have to play. We will take a Season Pyro, I guess. Pass the turn. I mean, I guess we could play Karn to shut down the Talisman. Is that even enough? Pound it. Stomping Grounds. Untapped. Because we could just be getting breached. Oh, opponent has Utopia Sprawl. So opponent's got the fast manas. All the fast manas. And a 1 ring. Oh, golly. Golly gee. All right, 1 ring. Pound it. Gonna start drawing some cards. Man, if we had 1 more card type in the graveyard. 1 more card type in the graveyard and we'd be in business. Fetch land doesn't do it. So, well, I mean, I guess we have to Shifting Woodlands. We might just be getting breached to death here. Play the Karn to shut down the 1 ring. Take down the Karn to grab, I guess, Ensnaring Bridge, which would shut down a breach kill next turn if we live long enough past the turn. If everything's a bad matchup, then you don't have to worry about the bad matchups. Aegis. 'Cause 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 'C I'll feel a little safer with Ensnaring Bridge down at least. We're actually not that far away from just winning. Actually, we might be able to just win next turn, depending on what our opponent does. Opponent finds a Kozilek's Command. And can't use your artifacts. Hold. Because we can cast the Traverse Uvenwald to get a sorcery in the graveyard, to turn on the Shifting Woodlands, to copy the Omniscience, to play the Omniscience, and then a Season Pyro, and we see what happens. I mean, if the Karn's still alive, then we actually do win. McGeary! How likely do you think it is? How likely do you think it actually is that Wizards isn't allowed to ban the ring? Ooh, opponent exiles Omniscience from the graveyard and scries and draws. All right, that's kind of brutal. Welcome to the Fishbowl for the 79th month. Thank you for your subscription. Big soup to you. Thank you. How likely is it that Wizards cannot ban the One Ring? I'm gonna say like 20%. I mean, they've been saying, let me see. I mean, they've been saying this for they've been saying this for the last year. If you go back to last August BNR, this is last August when they unbanned Preordained, unbanned Mind's Desire. The modern write-up says, it's true that two cards made big waves at the Pro Tour and within the format. The cards of the One Ring, these cards, the One Ring particularly, can fit into a variety of decks and spread the macro archetype strategies to comfortably compete within a format without overshadowing everything else present in Modern. Games can frequently be decided by having a One Ring in play for multiple turns, but the bar is high for a 4-mana card, too strong for a format as powerful as Modern. Not many games are quickly decided as a runaway from either the One Ring or Bowmasters, allowing players to have longer interactive back and forth games. I have witnessed Urza Saga recruiting Haywire Might to take care of the One Ring about a dozen times. Who's the real question? This said, who's the real hero of the story? This said, we aren't taking action against any of the cards from Lord of the Rings today, but we want to be clear these cards are on our radar, despite healthy tournament results, and seemingly plenty of wiggle room to explore in the upcoming RCQs. The play rates of these cards are still very high. We'll be monitoring the long-term One Ring play pattern, especially given its ability to be looped and reset, blah, blah, blah. All this to say, I guess the specifics aren't important, but for the last year, they've been talking about the One Ring being on the watch list. I would say that the chances of them actually not being able to ban it are like, to ban it right now, it's got to be like 10% or so. It's got to be relatively low. I think there's some outside, like, because the only reason this is a conversation that we're even having is we don't know what kind of deals Wizards makes with these various IP holders. We don't know what kind of deals there are. So that's the only reason there's even any like thought about this, question about this. I think it's unlikely. That Wizards cannot ban the One Ring. I don't think it's impossible, but I would say I think it's pretty unlikely that they cannot ban it. But I could see, like, in whatever contract they made with the Lord of the Rings people, maybe there's something in there like you can't make any changes to these cards for so long. It seems absurd to me, though. It seems absurd to me that they would put that in there, though, right? Like, wouldn't that just be absurd to actually put into their contract? Exile target artifact, enchantment, or land. It seems absurd that they would put that into their contract, so that's why I think it's pretty unlikely. Yeah, I think we're going to get a Surveil land to try to get more card types in our graveyard. Opponent's going to snipe our Utopia Sprawl land. Well, that's not ideal. Let's get a commercial district. That puts us down. A bit of red mana. Malevolent Rumbling. Huh. Yeah, I think we gotta go graveyard. I think what we have to do... Oh, no. Oh, no. How many mountains are in this deck? If this deck doesn't have another mountain, we're in trouble. Oh, please be 2. A single mountain? Oh, that's really bad. That's really, really, really bad. That's like, we probably lose. Oh, thank goodness. All right, we draw Stomping Grounds. That makes it better. Stomping Grounds untapped. Oh, thank you, Magic Gods. We already have a mountain in the graveyard is the problem. So we can play the Season Pyromancer. Season Pyro comes down. Discard the Omniscience. And discard the Traverse. I think we got to hold on to the second Omniscience. They already exiled 1. Take up the Karn. And pass the turn. All right, so we are once again set up to try to win next turn if nothing goes wrong. Please don't exile our graveyard opponent down to 14. Are we going to finally see the combo? Are we finally going to see the combo go off about it? Arena Boomer learns about graveyard hate. Graveyards and graveyard hate. Oh, indeed. Opponent's getting Devour of Destiny. That doesn't... That only gets colored stuff, right? It can't blow up the bridge. So we might be good. We have a new donation from McGeary. $20 donation. Here comes the Devourer. Exile target permanent that's 1 or more colors. This should be game, though. This should be game. Unless there's a sneaky Tormod script, this should be game. And then I got you, McGeary. Let's just let's combo this real quick, and then I'll get the donation. Opponent passes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shifting Woodland, become an Omniscience. Yes, please. And then we will cast an Omniscience just to make sure. And then we will take down this Karn the Great Creator. Yes. To grab a Ancestral Statue. Play a Karn the Great Creator with Omniscience. And, well, okay. So now we take down the Karn the Great Creator. Grab a Aetherflux Reservoir. We play the Aetherflux Reservoir. And opponent scoops it up. So the Ancestral Statue, when it enters, return target non-land permanent you control to its owner's hand. So we can cast this for free as many times as we want, just to increase the storm count for Aetherflux, and then snipe our opponent's face. We finally saw the full combo. I will say, I think we probably should have won that last match. If it wasn't for Orcish Bowmaster. But we have a new donation from McKeary. McKeary says, I just can't understand the lack of the ban then, because I always think back to Smuggler's Copter, Reckoner Bankbuster for comparison, and Modern is a worse place for the lack of diversity due to the card pool and historic precedent. I agree. I agree. So here's the less tinfoil hat reason that this could be. So let's say there's a 10%, and that might be generous. Let's say there's some very small percent chance that Wizards, in their contract with the Lord of the Rings people, can't ban the cards for a specific amount of time. That seems like a ridiculous thing to put in the contract from Wizards' perspective, and it seems like a ridiculous thing for the Lord of the Rings people to care about. But who knows? Maybe they're like, if we're gonna let you use this iconic One Ring, you can't ban it anywhere. I don't know. But there's some small percent that could be the thing. So that's one small percentage possibility. A larger percentage possibility is Wizards is still selling Lord of the Rings. It's one of the best-selling sets of all time. They get to sell it for another year. They said 2 years they have the rights to sell it or whatever. So they have another year to sell this product, and banning the One Ring in Modern isn't going to help them sell any more Lord of the Rings, even though Lord of the Rings isn't the current set or whatever. Plus, like, it leads to bad press. You're going to have these headlines of $2 million card banned or something like that because of the One of One Ring. So it might just be, I think there's a much higher percent chance that it's not that they can't ban it, but they think it's bad PR or bad for sales or something like that. I think that's maybe a 50% chance. And then I think the other 50% chance is they're just like, we don't see this as a problem. That one is a little bit of a stretch to me because, as you said, similar colorless cards in the past, Smuggler's Copter, Reckoner Bankbuster, those have gotten banned because they show up in too many decks. Not because they're necessarily just too good in a single deck, but they just are too easy to put in every deck. I'm pretty sure I read the Smuggler's Copter. I'm pretty sure I read the Smuggler's Copter one before. I wonder if I can find it. But it sounds... Ooh, let's see. Yeah, I can't find the BNR right now. WotC, a lot of their old stuff got purged from their site, so it's difficult to find, and you got to use the Wayback Machine. But if you read the ban list announcement for Smuggler's Copter, much of it could apply to the One Ring. Same with Bankbuster. Like, those cards, the same argument. So I see what you're saying, and I agree with you that if you think something like Smuggler's Copter or One Ring needs to be banned, why would we not need to ban the One Ring? And on a personal level, I agree. Like, I would have banned the One Ring. I would have banned it. So I agree with that. But my guess is it's not a conspiracy. It's not that they can't ban it. It's more the won't. It's more that they won't than the can't. Sales is a conspiracy, though. I mean, is a $1 billion company doing everything they can to make as much money as possible a conspiracy? I don't know. That just sounds like Tuesday to me. I mean, isn't that just what every corporation does? And at least we're talking about Magic cards, which is something that's relatively harmless. We're not talking about, workers being, abused to make in a sweatshop somewhere or something to make a phone or whatever silly thing. So at least it's more harmless than some things could be. But yeah, I mean, if you mean in the sense that it's a conspiracy in the sense that we would like to think, and I think this is something that's on us, we would like to think that when Wizards sits down to make a decision, their first thought is, what is going to be best for the game? What is going to be best for, what are players going to enjoy the most? What is going to be the best for the modern format? That's what we'd like to think of, like, how that goes down. But I'm not sure that's the conversation, or at least all the conversation. I think the actual conversation from a company like Wizards is going to be like, how do we make the most money off of this? Oh god, Stone Rain. Wait, is our opponent a Ponza deck? What in the all right, that's kind of awkward. We draw Karn. Now we will pitch this Traverse Uvenwald. We'll pitch a Karn. We will go to combat, get in with the Goblin Shaman, make a treasure. Play a mountain, cash grab, grab a Wooded Foothills. All right, let's see if we live. Actually, maybe we grab Season Pyro. Let's grab Season Pyro. Enchantment, Planeswalker. Yeah, we got Enchantment, Planeswalker. We're good. We'll get back to Season Pyro. All right. Well, pass the turn. This is a big turn. We have the Woodlands. We have the Omniscience in the graveyard. We have the win in hand. Can our opponent stop it? We know they got Kozilek's Command. Like Krim said, cards don't get banned. They go to the Hall of Fame, and the One Ring is a Michael Jordan still sees. All right, opponent's new plan: just blow up all of our lands. I mean, I can respect that. I can respect that, as annoying as that is. So we flip our Saga. We go to combat. We get in with a Goblin. Hit ya. Make a treasure. Misty Rainforest. Crack the Misty Rainforest. Get a forest. And get down the One Ring. Draw with the One Ring. Pass the turn. These Stone Rains have been really good against us. They've been really, really good. I mean, I can never get salty about getting hit by Stone Rains or Blood Moons. It is completely fair. I spent so much time. Oh, I have a question for you, chat. I have a question for you. Seth, do you know that when you play a deck and you start realizing it'll be your favorite deck for this, when do you know? Wait, Seth, do you know that when you play a deck and you start realizing it'll be your favorite deck for the foreseeable future, I think after 13 years, I have that for the first time in Commander, currently looking to update it. Ooh, let me see there, Brain. Opponent going to Kozilek's Return away our board. Sure. I mean, sad, but sure. One Ring. Triggers. Well, draw with the One Ring. Well, there's all of our lands. Well, Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills. Grab a forest. Utopia Sprawl on red. Seasoned Pyromancer. Discard and discard. All right, Grizzlebrand in hand, sadly, past the turn. Ooh, Tamiyo, eh? Tamiyo does seem like it'd be super fun to play. I haven't played Tamiyo yet, but I mean, I imagine Simic, you get all the ramp, you get all the card draw. It seems like I could see how it would be addicting. I could see how it would be an addicting commander. It's still happening. I don't know how, but it's still happening. Opponent Stone Rains us again somehow. It never ends. It never ends. One Ring, draw some cards. Well, that's Malevolent Rumbling. They've drawn every Stone Rain. They've drawn more Stone Rains, as many Stone Rains as lands somehow. I think we got to take a One Ring. Play a Stomping Grounds tapped. Get in with the Pyro. Hit ya. This game. Well, I mean, if this is what Modern's going to be like, I guess Modern's kind of awesome. If this is what Modern's about, is just Stone Raining your opponents, they gotta be done. They gotta be done. They gotta be. They gotta be. No. Oh, the Utopia Sprawl themselves. Okay. I'm a little bit worried about getting breached. That's kind of the issue. Found it. Passing. We could end all this if we can just draw a Shifting Woodlands. We still have a bunch in our deck. Wooded Foothills. Well, One Ring. Shifting Woodlands? No. So, well, let's... So, Seed of Hope should hit a Shifting Woodlands. We can still do it. All right, Seed of Hope. Whiff. Oh, let's play a Stomping Ground. Untapped. Play a Utopia Sprawl. On green. Play a second One Ring. Legend Rule. And pass. Well, hit you for 2. Oh, we're just going to get breached to death, though. Are they even playing Breach? Can they even possibly be playing Breach? Where are the rooms for the breaches if you're just playing only Stone Rains? This has been the weirdest game, I swear. This is the weirdest game. Opponents somehow on 3 lands. 19 cards into their deck. But we're on 4 lands, 40 cards into our deck because they keep drawing Stone Rains. It is the weirdest game. Opponent finds a 1 ring. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh my god, overloaded Mystics Mastery would be the worst. Opponent finds a land. We gotta be able to find this. Malevolent Rumble. Untap. Take a damage. Draw a card. Shifting Woodlands. Okay, so. Play Shifting Woodlands. Our graveyard has about 1 million types in it, so this should be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Copy the Omniscience. Cast the Omniscience in case they have like a Nature's Lore or something. We will cast a Karn. And opponent scoops it up and... Okay, I hope Modern is always like this because that was awesome. I mean, it was brutal. It was incredibly brutal, but that was actually awesome. Oh, chat, question for you. And be honest now. Seth, even if they ban the 1 ring, people play Phyrexian Metamorph for additional copies of the 1 ring. I mean, that still makes it worse, though, right? Like, if you have to play Phyrexian Metamorph to try to have more 1 rings, I think it makes your deck worse, at least. So, be honest, chat. Who of you play Magic Online? Because I have some play points to give away, but you gotta be a Magic Online player to take advantage of them. So if you are someone who actually really truly honestly plays Magic Online, let me know and I can try to hook you up. I have 5 giveaways of thanks to Daybreak of ooh, okay, this is fine. 5 giveaways of 120 play points. Enough to do like a draft or a Eldrazi again. Enough to do a draft or a league or whatever. Okay, so how do we determine who gets these? Okay, so here's Daybreak is Pog. Seriously, like they've been so good. It's really cool to see just like how active they are compared to how it was with Moto. So I know how we determine this. So is that turn to 1 ring? Hi. Okay. Yeah, that's not great. Not great for us. Get back up a Seiju. Opponent might be a little bit far ahead here. A lot far ahead. Opponent, yeah, draws with the 1 ring. And we'll... Man, there's more non-games in Magic than ever, aren't there? All right, tap land, go. Oh, it's like Commander when someone has all the mana and all the cards, and that's what our opponent's doing now. You can deal with an opponent having all the cards. You can deal with the opponent having all the mana, but when they have them both, you're so dead. That is the deadest you get in a game of Magic. So, yeah, trivia is a good idea. So remember that turn a couple games ago where I turned Shifting Woodland into Grizzlebrand and activated it, but then the opponent might have had Delirium and a Orcish Bowmaster in the graveyard. My question for you was that a punt? Please talk straight into the mic. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you're having trouble hearing me. Punt. Yes. Of course. Hey, Bailey Gaming. No, I don't think so. Okay. Send me your that was the correct answer to win some play points. Send me your info and I'll hook you up. Also Zanfast, you were the first person to say punt, and that was actually the correct answer. So you also send me a message and I'll hook you up with some play points. So we have 2 winners so far, 2 winners. One for being nice to me and in saying no, the other for correctly saying yes. You can send me a message right on here if you want to, or you can email me, whatever works for you, and I'll hit you up. You can send a whisper on here if you want, or you can email me, saffronolive@mtdgoldfish.com. Whatever works for you. Yeah, we're pretty far behind this game. Pretty far behind. So in other words, when someone has the One Ring, then it's like playing against Phil and Commander. Pretty much. It is essentially like playing against Phil. You talked on the podcast about the new GPs. Would you be attending them? So the showcase series events, I hope so. I would like to. It's going to depend. So there's 5 of them in the US. I don't have whispers on. All right, hang on. Let me, enable do not disturb, disable do not disturb. Let me see. Let me see if I can message you, Bailey Gaming. Oh yeah, this actually makes more sense. Bailey Gaming, here are your just sent you your codes. And who was the other one that's getting the play points here? The actual correct answer, Zanfast. I'm sending you a whisper with a code for 120 play points, courtesy of Daybreak Games. Use them for whatever. You can do a draft with them, you can do a league with them, whatever you want. And death. Yep. Through the breach hammer. And that was not much of a game. Like, Pony had turned to One Ring. We played like 3 lands, and they are annihilating us for 10. That was not even in the same universe. Not even in the same universe. I love seeing CC in the opening of the Igra deck. Oh yeah, I figured that was the perfect time, right? Because it was yeah, so you can do a vintage cube. It's enough to do a vintage cube if you want to. Free vintage cube. Do you like vintage cube, Randomy? You know what, Randomy? Would you like to do a vintage cube? I gotcha. I'm sending you a code, Randomy. Courtesy of Daybreak. Do a vintage cube. Let me know how the highlights went. Yeah, we've done vintage cube streams in the past. So we'll definitely do more in the future. What do we do? I guess we don't really sideboard much. Let's run it back. Fruit Kid, do you play Moto, Fruit Kid? Do you play Moto? All right, I got you too. I got 2 more to give away. One's going to Fruit Kid. I got one more. I just want to try to make sure that I give them to people who play Moto, because if they end up going to someone who only plays Arena, then they kind of go to waste. Or I guess you can give them to someone who plays Moto. We're gonna play first. We got to combo quick, I guess. All right. Well, our opponent's draw can't be that good every game. That was like an over-the-top Eldrazi draw. I mean, I hope people start playing Moto, because Moto's pretty awesome, but why do we not get... So what keeps Magic from having toys at McDonald's? I feel like that's how you know you made it, right? Like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Gets some Pokemon. Like, what do we got to do to get to that level? Because so far we've kind of topped out at the Hot Pockets level. I think we've reached the Hot Pocket tier, but how do we get to the Happy Meal toy tier? That's the next step. There are any kid-friendly... I mean, what about the little... Oh God, I've blocked the name out of my head already. The one that they sold toys of like immediately once it was spoiled in Outlaws of Thunder Junction with Jason Vraska. It's everything. It's Loot. Oh, the name was so cheesy I forgot about it. Loot. Wouldn't Loot be a perfect Happy Meal toy? We could have Loot. Loot would work. Why is there no Loot Happy Meal toys? I'm gonna have to message Ronald. and see if we can work this out. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like Tiny Bones, there's cute characters. I know it's like definitely Magic is a more, I guess, adult game. I think the player base is way more adult than Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh. But I think there's enough cute characters that you could do it. I think the problem is we're not iconic enough, maybe. I think Magic still has stigma from parents about pentagrams. That's actually something I want to do a video about because I grew up in that. I remember having a friend who like couldn't play Mario. His parents wouldn't let him play Mario because something to do with like the mushrooms. He would eat mushrooms and get bigger, and that was magical, and that was like, you know, satanic or something. So I actually think the like satanic panic stuff would be a super interesting video, just because it kind of connects personally to some extent. Now let's get the season Pyro. How bad is this Stone Brain? So they Stone Brain all of our shifting woodlands, and then we just can never win. Is that how this goes? The other option, yeah, we just gotta play through it. We gotta play through it. 1, 2, 3. There's some argument that we could like, yeah, let's play Fable. There's some argument that we could like blow up the Stone Brain with the Beseiju, but then we're just giving our opponent more mana and increasing our odds of getting killed by a breach. So I think we're just gonna have to accept if our opponent's Stone Brain shifting woodlands, we just accept it. What have you been playing on Moto, Patrick? About it. All right, Stone Brain. Is there any way you can accidentally Stone Brain yourself? No, it says opponent. that would be sweet if you could misclick and accidentally exile your own stuff. I made a version of Cat Food that John and was wondering if you'd be interested in seeing it. Sideboard isn't finished yet. I'd love to see it. I played against Ruby Storm earlier today. That deck I think is maybe back a little bit with Nadu gone and Grief gone. It can still win super fast. Like when Storm does its thing. Whoo boy. You ever watch the crossover between Dragon Ball Z and Yu-Gi-Oh? Vega used the heart of the cards. I didn't even know who Vega was. So no, I have not caught the crossover. Our opponent's deck is doing a little worse than last game somehow. Last game was so explosive, then this game is the opposite. So shifting woodlands are gone. How do we survive this? So let's discard a Season Pyro and a One Ring. Draw a ton of lands. Well, go to combat. Get in with a Goblin. So we gotta fade the Breach next turn, right? If we just get Breach next turn, there's not a whole lot we can do about it. Wooded Foothills. Crack the Wooded Foothills. Grab a mountain and run out the Karn. Take it down. So Karn for... Karn for Ensnaring Bridge. We gotta fade this turn. If they can do it this turn, then they get us. If they just go like another Ugin's Labyrinth, okay. Okay, not an Ugin's Labyrinth, just Cavern of Souls. Bone it. Please. Oh, Thought-Knot's here. Okay. Well, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Playing the Thought-Knot, eh? Well, there goes the Ensnaring Bridge, although... hilariously, we can still just get it with the Karn, right? Karn with the hidden get from exile mode. So I guess it doesn't really matter. Vigata. Well, let me see the Jun Cat list. Opponent takes a 1 ring. Also interesting. Well, we get to flip the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Play the Forest. Utopia Sprawl. On red. Take down the Karn. I think we're going to return the land destruction favor here. Grab a liquid metal coating. And ensnaring bridge. And liquid metal coating. And now we get to start shutting down the Ugins Labyrinth. Wow, we're actually doing okay. We can't realistically combo off. But that might not actually matter. Shut down the Labyrinth. I thought I had something to do with, like, vegetables. Opposing, let me see. Yeah, I got it. Bone it. Can't attack with the Thought Knot. Bone it. Gonna pass. Is this a list of my favorite spells? I do enjoy some land destruction on occasion. I dabble, I would say. Well, let's traverse. Get a Season Pyro. Play Fable of the Mirror Breaker. And Misty crack it. I mean, we might be able to just go wide enough that we could actually survive getting got by a breach here somehow. Season Pyro. Draw a couple cards. And let's see if we can get rid of this Ugins Labyrinth. Bone it. I'm gonna float. Oh boy. All right, well, kill it. I mean, they got to get rid of the bridge too, right? They got to get rid of the bridge before the breach even does anything. So our opponent's got to walk through multiple hoops here, jump through multiple hoops if they're actually going to be able to pull it off. Wow, not even killing anything. All right, just making some spawn. John Brew. Yeah, the cat food deck seems pretty good now. Igra actually made it's better than I thought. For being 5 mana, when you see 5 mana, it's kind of like, oh, that's so expensive for a format like Pioneer. But Igra was actually pretty good. Yeah, going to Juns makes sense. I think Fable of the Mirror Breaker is really good. Mayhem Devil is also super good with Cauldron Familiar. Good backup plan. Yeah, it looks good. I like it. About it. We have a new subscriber, Pensionon. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop for you. Thank you. Oh, you should be able to go way higher resolution than that. Are other people stuck at super low res? At 480p? You should be able to go up to like... Really? When did it go 480p? Huh. Maybe is something wrong with the stream? It says I got 0 drop frames. I don't even know. That's really odd. You should be able to go 1080p. Or at least like 720. Let's just... How do we win this? That is the question. What is our plan for winning? I mean, I guess we just win by leaving our opponent with nothing. Like, if we just eat away all their lands and then eventually we win somehow. We draw a Fable. Well, let's... Liquid Metal Coating, Eldrazi Temple. Bona's going to float some mana. Eat the Eldrazi Temple. And do a little rumble. Do a little rumble. Do a little rumble here. Do some digging. We do need to not mill out. Okay, new thought. How many Utopia Sprawls do we have? Are they all still on our deck? All right, we're going to take Omniscience. There is a weird world where maybe 1, 2, we can make enough treasures. Let's go to combat. I think we're on the Hardcast Omniscience plan in our deck that has literally zero, literally zero blue mana. But I think we can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About it. Seconds of Eldrazi. Seconds of Eldrazi. Making more Eldrazi. Well, let's copy this goblin. This is not how this deck is supposed to play. This is not how the deck is supposed to play. This is not the plan, like even a little. About it. Makes a bunch of Eldrazi spawns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're 1 mana. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're 1 mana short this turn. Next turn we can do it. Yeah, I mean, we could technically hardcast Grizzlebrand too. I mean, I don't know what happens once we hardcast Omniscient. Well, then I guess we just combo kill. Yeah, I guess this actually just works. All right, go to combat. Get in with all the goblins for the treasures. Hit ya, hit ya, hit ya. Treasure and treasure and treasure. Just the way we drew it up. Is Twitch capping me because I have ad block for Twitch? I hope not. I use ad block on... I actually use ad block on everything, so I've never run into that issue, but I guess I hope not. That would be bad. Really? Oh no. Oh, that's got to be a new thing. That's not good. That's gonna wreck me too. I mean, maybe it's sometimes Twitch gets buggy, so it might just be a bug. It might just be something weird today. Give it another stream to see if it happens. If it keeps happening, whew, that would be very awkward. Found it. Ancient Stirrings. Going digging. But how do you get out from under the ensnaring bridge? We do not care about the ensnaring bridge. We can win through the ensnaring bridge. Found it. Another Kozilek's command. Just keep chaining them together. Little by little, our opponents just going down lands. About it. I think we could survive a breach at this point if we had to. It would ruin our Omniscience plan, but I think we could do it. Does Kozilek's command ruin our day at all? Not really. Oh, another Thought Knot, I guess, is annoying because it takes Omniscience. Oh, God. Come on now, opponent. Thought Knot's here. About it. That's why I was asking for YouTube streaming. Yeah, maybe it's, I mean, maybe it would just be better. I don't know, I'm curious. What do the rest of you think? What do you think of streaming on YouTube? Would that be better for you or worse for you? I imagine, so my perception is that most people who are watching the Twitch stream probably already subscribed to the YouTube. Because we're definitely more like of a YouTube channel that streams once a week rather than a streamer who has a YouTube. Do not stream on YouTube. I mean, I'll have to look into it. I don't know if you can stream on both. I'm not sure if you can just fire it up for both and let it go or not. Well, that's Seed of Hope. We should still have another Omniscience somewhere. Season Pyro. Well, let's take down the Karn. For 1 ring. Play a One Ring. Play the Commercial District. This has ended up being an incredibly wild game. All right. Can't make us thought seize the top of our deck. Pass the turn. All right, next turn. Next turn. Oh, but then we don't have the Karn. Next turn we might be able to do it. We're gonna try. We're gonna try. All right, upkeep. Shut down your Grove of the Burn Willows, I guess. What a weird. This deck is played way different than I thought. Doesn't streaming on both platforms go against Twitch policy? So it used to be, when I first started streaming, if you were a Twitch partner, you could not stream anywhere else, or they would kick you out of partnership. Then they changed it so you could be a Twitch streamer, be a partner, and stream other places. The part that I am not clear on is if you can literally do them both at the same time. That's the one thing I'm not 100% sure on. I would have to look and actually see the contract. I know that it's changed for some people, and some people can stream on both, but I have to actually look at the contract and see. Yeah, I know that is. I guess I can technically thought seize the top of the deck now with Cruel Claw Size. So I'd have to just check the contract. But if you can just do both at once, I guess it would be pretty easy to fire it up. The only downside would be, what would you do about chat? Like, the whole reason I like streaming is chat. Like, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't stream. Like, the reason I stream is that we can hang out and chat. What would I do with two chats? That would be the downside. I don't know, maybe, I wonder if there's an app that just mashes them together. Are there overlays that combine them? That would be ideal. I don't know. I get distracted reading one chat and playing Magic. Imagine me with multiple chats going. Imagine the roping. Imagine the roping and the salty messages. Yeah, that would be my concern, is like, because that's some streamers would be fine. Like, some people, their style of streaming is more like, I'm just playing and like interacting with chat on occasion, but the way for us, it's just different. Like, for us, the main reason we stream is just so we can interact, because otherwise it's just the same as a YouTube video. Would it be just you, or would you and Krim share the YouTube channel? Probably. Oh, as far as streaming on the YouTube channel, I don't know. This all just kind of popped into my head. I assume that Krim would want to keep streaming on his own channel, because Krim's stream is like, so Krim works for Goldfish and is a full-time Goldfish employee or whatever, but his stream is kind of his own thing. So I imagine it's probably more beneficial for him to keep it as his own thing. So I would imagine that he would probably still do his own stream. Twitch is better because you can see who your closer followers are. You can see who really wants to watch more. That is true. That is an upside, I guess. All right, we got to go for this. So we have 1 million treasures. We can actually make 1 million more, which I guess we should. So let's go to combat. Get in. Hit you with the gobbo. Make a treasure. We're going combo kill. And this has been the weirdest game. We've played I've said that a lot of games today. I will say, like, compared to just Nadu popping off or getting grief down to 3 cards in hand or whatever, the games we've played today have been much more interesting. Oh, the hard casting like, we don't have blue mana in the deck. It is very, very far down the list of plans. Like, we do not intend to be able to cast Omniscience in this deck, like, at all. So opponent has 1 green source. I guess we can't actually stop that. Okay, 1, 2. I wonder if we're gonna regret that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's Liquimento Coating the Forest. Take up the Karn to eat it. Play an Omniscience. Draw with the One Ring. Play a Karn. Wow. Wow. Through the stone brain to eat all of our woodlands, we found a way to combo by hard casting Omniscience of all things. So grab an ancestral statue, and then we'll play a Karn for free and keep the new one and take it down. I'm not missing anything here, right? Opponent is not behind a one ring. There's no pithing needles on the battlefield. We'll grab an Aetherflux Reservoir. We'll play an Aetherflux Reservoir. We'll play a statue. Gain a bit of life. Bounce it back to our hand. Pick him up. And then I think we'll play a statue. Gain a bit of life. Who would have thought that the one time we would actually see the full combo would be in a game where we didn't have shifting woodland? Not me. Ancestral statue. Up to 46. Pick it up. Malevolent rumblings. Might as well. Gain a little life. Grab a land. So we're at 55. There's no way this goes wrong, right? Oh, you gotta click OK. And all right, let's just snipe you. Wow. And now we get to do it again. What? I thought these games would be so quick and easy, and instead we ended up playing just like the grindiest, strangest games. Do we keep this? I mean, I guess we keep this. All right, let's keep it. Devourer of Destiny. I mean, I think that game is an outlier. I think the first game where opponent just like popped off, I think it's more likely that one of our two decks pops off and just runs away with the game than it is that we end up in whatever that last game was. I think decks are so powerful now that it's really hard to end up in those board stalls. It doesn't happen that often because cards and decks are just so strong. Oh goodness. All right, well, yeah, this is looking not the best, I would say. Stomping Grounds untapped, pass the turn. Well, okay, it might be another one of those. I mean, I do like long and grindy games, but that was a little bit over the top. Opponent. Stonebraid. Ugin's Labyrinth, I think, moves back up the list of Modern Horizons 3 cards now that Nadu's gone. Oh, double trouble? Oh, that's so much. No. What are you supposed to do if your opponent has four mana on turn 2? What am I supposed to do about this? How do I stop? Blood Moon. You know what? Just for asking, Dank Room, I have one more to give away, and Dank Room, it will be yours. All right, opponent's gonna Stone Brain. Get rid of all of our woodlands. Well, I mean, I guess as we saw last game, our deck can win without woodlands. Not easy, not pretty, but it is theoretically possible. Yeah, this definitely makes me want to break out a Blood Moon deck. Maybe Blood Moon would be good. The problem is Blood Moon's so bad against Energy. Although it is worth pointing out, we have not played against Energy at all today. Energy, I think, is the obvious choice for like best deck in the format post-banning. And we haven't played against it even a little bit. Well, we'll get a Utopia Sprawl, I guess. Which isn't bad. It helps speed things up a smidge. So what is our game plan now? Utopia Sprawl. On whatever. I guess red. And do a little rumbling. All right. I mean, we're going to take the Grizzlebrad. Can we make 4 black mana somehow? New challenge. New challenge has been accepted. Have we made a deck with Flood Moon? We've played Flood Moon in in Timeless, I think we played it. Did we play Flood Moon in the Scepter Chant deck? Another Soul Land. Did we play in the Scepter Chant deck? We might have played it in the Scepter Chant deck, but I don't think I've built a deck around it in Modern. Opponent finds a Thought Not Seer. Okay. Yeah, Stonebrain seems really good against us. There's no way. There goes our Karn. There's no real way to play around it, right? There's nothing we can really do. Well, I mean, Fable is something at least. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's play the Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. Opponent's only got 2 cards in hand, although they're going to be getting Devourers and Emeralds here shortly. And we don't have a way to stop. Oh, yeah. We don't have a way to stop that. Hey, good afternoon, Terry. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. All of our opponent's lands just have for 2 mana. Well, all right. We get the Goblin. Do a little surveilling. I mean, actually, couldn't this deck play Blood Moon? We could be a Blood Moon deck. Why are we not a Blood Moon deck? We can even find Blood Moon with the Cachet Grab. We can ramp into it with the Utopia Sprawl. I kind of feel like there should be blood. I mean, I guess that's it. I wonder. Okay, so this is probably insane. But what about not actually playing a full Karn board? Like, so the deck needs Karn for the combo loop to win the game. But what if we didn't play only artifacts? Is that just insane in a deck that's playing 4 Karns? Like, can we play Blood Moons in the sideboard and play like 8 artifacts instead of 15 artifacts? Maybe it just powers down Karn too much and it's not worth it. But boy, I feel like this deck, everything about this deck supports Blood Moon, right? Like, I guess it shuts down the Shifting Woodland, which is kind of awkward if that's our main plan. But everything except for the fact that we're built around a non-basic land is perfect for Blood Moon. It's perfect. About it. Finds a World Breaker. Okay. Oh, yeah. Also not good for us. Opponent goes to combat. About it. Getting in. Hits us. Down to 17. Well, we will discard. Is there even any point in holding on to Grizzlebrand? There's no way we're actually... It's not happening, right? It's not. There's no way. All right, discard. Draw. We draw Karn. That's something. Well, go to combat. Our opponent's probably going to be scared of this Goblin after last game. Get in, hit ya. Make a treasure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But they have a World Breaker in hand. But World Breaker needs green mana. We really can't afford to lose this Karn, though. Well, play the land. Crack the land. Grab a forest. Maybe we just gotta wait till after. We might have to just wait for the World Breaker to resolve. Let's cash grab. Take a... All right, maybe it's more realistic than I thought to hardcast blue spells. Another Fable the Mirrorbreaker. Play the Fable the Mirrorbreaker. We might actually end up in roughly the same spot as last game. Where we can Karn to get an ensnaring bridge. About it. Oh no, is this a big Kozilek's command? Oh, that's not great. Kozilek's command goes digging. Well, we're going to have to get ensnaring bridge. Opponent, 4 to the bottom. That's good news, at least. Opponent untaps. Oh, yeah, we're playing... This is Magic Online at the moment. We just got all the bannings in in Modern, so... Hey, just want to say I've really been enjoying Commander Clash in the podcast. Thanks for all the fun content. Well, Justicar, welcome to the stream, and thank you for the kind words. Definitely appreciate it. Hey, what's up, Doug? How are you? Wait, are you... You're not going to school again, are you, Doug? Or your kid's school, or you're going to school? Opponent. Ooh, Calamax. How bad is this? Sowing might go spawn. Pretty bad, pretty bad. So gets a land. Exiles our Utopia Sprawl land. They get another Eldrazi Temple. Yeah, that's brutal. Opponent has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 mana. And they also have a World Breaker. Targeting. Huh. Yeah, Calamax looks sweet, Doug. Did you ever figure out what your last week's YouTube video was? I remember last stream, you mentioned you were trying to figure out what to do it on. Getting my master's in education. Hey, that's awesome, Doug. That's super cool. I could see you being a good teacher. I could picture that. Found it. Getting in with a Thought Not Seer. Hits us. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, okay. We draw a Fable. We flip the Fable. We play the land. We crack the land. We get a Stomping Grounds untapped. Go to combat. Get in with the 1, 2, 3, 4. Get in with the Goblin. Well, looks like it's bridge time. Back to doing that, opponent. Gonna block. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Karn the Great Creator. Take it down. Grab an Ensnaring Bridge to stay alive. And 1, 2, 3. Play the bridge. All right, I mean, opponent's out of cards for the time being. They can't attack us. Maybe we're okay. Maybe we're okay. They can't One Ring us because of the Karn. Oh, Ancient Stirrings is probably very bad for us. How many World Breakers can they possibly be playing, though? Oh, Beseiju! Oh, okay. Yup, that's a thing. Any pack opening videos coming up? I love the random collection ones. Yes, there will be. There will be. I've been trying to figure out what to do about collections. The challenge with the collections is finding the collections. That's actually been the tricky part of that one. But yes, I definitely plan on making more of them. I know it's been a lot of box openings lately, but I'm hopeful that that's going to shift here soon, and we'll get some more collection buys going. So opponent has a Beseiju. Well, okay. Karn. I think the only realistic option here is get a One Ring. So we get the One Ring. We can Utopia Sprawl on red and play the One Ring and pass the turn. So they can Beseiju away the Ensnaring Bridge, but they can't kill us this turn because of the One Ring. We're still going to need to do some top decking, though, because we don't have a way to just win the game. So opponent going to Beseiju the Ensnaring Bridge. As expected, get the Commercial District. Do a little surveilling. Misty Rainforest to the graveyard. Yep. Opponent. How do we get that ensnaring bridge back? The opponent's going to kill the Karn. Sure. They have even more? Oh no, opponent draws a one ring. All right. Yeah. I mean, this all goes back to that Stone Brain. Exiling our shifting Woodlands. I think the upside of this combo is supposed to be that with shifting Woodlands, your opponent can't interact with your combo, but that might not be as true as it looks. Ooh. Huh. Interesting. I mean, Karn is a good draw here. Is it good enough? Get the land. Huh. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, play a tap, draw with the one ring. Traverse Omniscience. Now let's cast the Seeds of Hope. Cast the Seeds of Hope. Get a Mist. Well, Misty does literally nothing, but we'll take it. I'll play the Fable. I mean, traverse the Uvenwald, but not really for anything. Yeah, I think that does it. So we chump. I mean, I guess we're not technically dead, but we can't really win from here. Ay. How do we get out Omni? The problem... So the idea is you're supposed to be able to use Shifting Woodlands to get Omniscient. The whole point of the deck, the deck does exactly one thing. There's one thing it does, and that is you get Omniscience in the graveyard with some other cards, and then you use Shifting Woodlands to copy the Omniscience, and then you combo off. The problem is our opponent had Stone Brain, and they exiled all of our copies of Omniscience, so then we don't really have any way of doing anything. We managed to win a game by eventually making treasures with our goblins, but this game fell a little bit too far behind. Hey Seth, did you see my email? I was one of the 5 deck lists and a lot of ideals. I sent it to you on Monday. Ooh, I know I have some deck list emails that I still haven't gotten to yet. I did look them over. Yeah, with the a whole bunch of deck lists, right? Like 5 deck lists. Yeah, I did get those, Juliet. What one were you talking about? The Alania idea. Yeah, the Alania deck. Let me see if I can pull it up. I still have it here somewhere. Yeah, there's some cool ideas in there. Segovia is a super cool card. I remember playing that right after it first came out. I tried to figure out a way to build a Valley Floodcaller deck. It's been tough. I haven't even managed to win a game with it. It's one of those decks where it's like, it was super cool against the odds, but I just have not really found a way to like actually make the full combo happen. Slickshot's a neat idea with it. I like the Slickshot idea, although then it's a little slickshotty, a little aggro-y, but it does look sweet. I think Valley Floodcaller is one of those cards that has a lot of potential. But yeah, the deck list looks super sweet. Thanks for sending him over. What do you think of the Grin Crafting Changeling deck list I sent you? Been doing some work in Standard. Yeah, Grim Captain's Call is actually powerful. The list, yeah, looks super sweet. The Changelings definitely help power it up for sure. But I've been impressed with it. Like, I remember when we first played it for Against the Odds, I was kind of blown away at how well it actually did. But on that note, everyone, I think that brings us to the end of our stream for today. So I will say, this deck... So this is a deck that I think probably gotta like play a bunch and learn all the ins and outs of. I will say while it looks like a pretty easy deck where you're just like, I mill and I shifting Woodland Omniscience and then I win, it seems like it's a deck that you actually got to like play and learn all the little tricks with to really be able to play optimally and get all the wins with. So a really cool idea, and I think it's something that can be successful, but I would definitely recommend if you want to try it out, definitely get in some reps with it, because as you can see, it's not quite as simple as just shifting Woodlands, Omniscience win. Our opponents are interacting, they're stopping it. It's making it a lot harder to do what we're trying to do. So keep that in mind with the deck. But Modern felt much better than Nadu World, and I'm sure we'll have more coming up either on the stream or on the YouTube. But on that note, everyone, reminders on the way out the door. Replay YouTube, that's where you'd find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Next week, so I know that on Saturday there's a preview stream. I don't think I'm going to be able to co-stream it, but there will be spoiler coverage on the YouTube, so keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, a reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some Magic cards, you get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. Y'all are amazing and awesome, and I love y'all. Have an amazing day. Have a great night. Enjoy the Dustborn spoilers. I'll see you on the YouTube, and I'll see you next week for some more streaming. Until then, everyone, be good. And I will talk to you soon.